Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope everybody's doing well tonight. We have an amazing show planned. I am almost positive there are clips tonight you have not seen and that you will enjoy. If you're just coming from that premiere that we just had, thank you so much. I love having the ability to premiere and hear what you guys think about the videos. Let me get this thumbnail or whatever we're going to call it out of the way so I can say hello. Welcome to the kitchen. If you're new here, that's right, Graham. This is where all the cool kids hang out at night. And so please keep in mind we clock in for our shifts around here by hitting the like button. So please do that. Don't be a dick. Lick the like. Give it a click. Oh, don't be a dick. Give it a click. There we go. Anyways, I am Kitchen Court Cases. We are in my kitchen and we are about to watch some court. I even have a written plan, which I think we all know usually bodes for some good evenings. I would love to hear what you've had for dinner tonight. If you didn't like what you had for dinner, tell me what you wish you had for dinner. And I am seeing so many regulars and so many of our fabulous friends, Zeisifer, Kessa, Grim, Lawrence Browning, MB, Courtney, Trish, sorry, Trish, Absent Broncos, Amy. Amy, I hope you're doing well. I know you got a little bit of difficult random news, but I know you're strong. I am glad that you're getting it taken care of. Lawrence had burgers. Grim, don't be a dick, give it a flick. Ooh, some people are into that. Hi, Sashina. Hi, Lady Trisha Lawyer. You're a Lady Trish Lawyer? Well, your name's wrong. Which one is it? I'm fine with either. Ronnie, just Ronnie, howdy, howdy. Um, hey, Kessa had Jello. You wish you could have had nachos. I am not particularly sure if the difference between Jello and nachos equals out. There's a lot of sugar. Well, Trish, thank you for being here. We clock in for our shifts, and you're gonna have to, make sure you do that by hitting that like button. Um, you're a real lawyer? I'm definitely not a lawyer. So, just so you know. 14 grams of sugar. Yes. Love it. MB, thank you for being here. That's what MB had. I had two of those today. As I ordered it, I was like, oh, you know exactly how much sugar is in this. Grim is here having vegetarian chicken patties with Swiss and barbecue sauce and sweet corn on the side. What does that sound like, Nana? She closed the door. Okay. I don't think that was about your food, Grim. I think that's just more me and the court, the constant court, if you will, that is always going in this kitchen. Ladies and gentlemen, Nana, we live in a generational home. I live in Canada in a really expensive city. We live in a generational home. We all have our own suites and stuff, but we hang out together. I have a 15-year-old daughter, so my Nana and my daughter both just don't understand. Regardless, I haven't made dinner yet. I'm also on the west coast of Canada. So it's not even 4:30 yet. It is past 4:20. So I would like to hear what strain you have on your brain tonight, if you have that, or what drink you're going to drink, or what you're going to do. Whatever you feel like sharing, share. If you take a look at the chat and you're new here, you're going to think, wow, it's pretty busy. That's okay. We do a little bit of gambling in here, a lot of fun, a lot of poking fun. So keep that in mind and feel free to ask questions. If you want it to be less busy, you can go ahead and block Streamlabs, and that way you can have none of the gambly stuff, just the chat. Okay? So, like I said, we watch court in my kitchen. What are we gonna? Oh, yeah, we're not starting with our title event tonight. No, no, not tonight, because we have something even better to start with, and that is. Oh, it leads right in. I was like, wait, it is? No, it leads right into our title event. So, without further ado, we are going to go onto the west coast of the United States to Washington State, Orlando Chiquita is here making my day. Thank you. How's it going? She says. It's going great, Donna. How are you? You reminded me of something. Thank you so much, first of all, Donna. Appreciate you so much. Been my friend for a long time. Um, I got a P.O. box, guys. I got it. I did it. Now, please don't make me sad by there being nothing sent ever. I want your weird pop. I want things you want me to try on camera. I'll do a lot of things on camera. Believe me. Lisa B's here. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We are going to, I'm waiting for the, oh yeah, which should be coming. My wrist is buzzing. Whoa, I hit a goal. Okay, here we go. Um, oh, last thing before we get started, med check, which means do you take meds? If you do, take them. If you don't, come tell us what that's like. Do you know?
Yeah.
Thanks, Donna. But seriously, I've said that now a lot of times. Nobody has ever come and been like, I don't take medication. Have they? Okay, let's get going. I need to take some meds too. Here we go. Yeah, that's right. I remember it.
Thank you. Good afternoon. It's Thursday County District Court. Our in custody calendar for Thursday afternoon, the 22nd of June. We have one person in the courtroom. Everybody is appearing remote. These proceedings are being live streamed on YouTube to increase public access. Hey, Ms. Lucky. Mr. Sharp, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Mr. Stillwell, I understand you're the new counsel for public defense.
I am. Good to meet you, Your Honor.
You too. One of these days, maybe it'll be in person.
I was there most of the morning, but then needed to run back to the office and didn't quite get back. So I usually try to make it in person.
Yep, no problem at all. All right, let's see. At the ARC at Thurston County, your name, please. Are you Ms. Longmire?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
And Your Honor, I'll be handling Mrs. Longmire's case. And I had a chance to speak with her earlier this afternoon. There's a pretrial services recommendation that she be released on previously imposed conditions. We're asking the court to follow that recommendation and are happy to address the FTA if the court would like. We're asking for her to be released on previously imposed conditions consistent with the pretrial services recommendation.
All right, thank you very much.
That has been resolved. She's able.
I got a heart attack because I saw my desk, I saw my windows. My windows were open, but I was okay. Right at the windows there. Okay, we're fine. I was like, did I forget it the whole time? Skip ahead 30, back 10. That's why I'm fucked up. There we go. There's my windows. Oh,
And Ms. Williamson, state have any objection to that approach?
No, Your Honor, there's no objection.
Thank you. And Mr. Stillwell, what can you tell me about the missed court date? couple weeks ago.
Sure. Your Honor, Ms. Longmire was, she gets mail at the post office, and there was apparently some mix-up with the PO box she was using. That has been resolved. She's able to receive mail at the post office box that she provided the court earlier.
Just to be clear, my post office box, there's no problems with it. It should be linked on my profile now, and that's the only reason. Entirely only reason that I'm showing this clip is because they said post office box. I swear. I swear.
Her phone had also broken. She was receiving text messages from the court. That phone has been restored. The number that's on file is still good. So there shouldn't be any issues moving forward.
All right, thank you very much. Answer my question.
Of course.
And it looks like Mr. Gasling is appointed counsel. Is that right, Mr. Silva?
That's correct.
Okay. And Ms. Longmire, you know how to get in touch with Mr. Gasling?
I will get the information.
Okay, so yeah, make sure you get it before you leave the jail. They'll give you a phone number for Thurston County Public Defense. I want you to call their office and make an appointment to speak to Mr. Gasling. Now, I know he's not in this week, and I don't think he's in next week, but make that appointment and speak with him. We will reset pre-trials, confirmation date, and trial date. So you're going to get all notice both by mail and sent by text to your phone. So if you have any issues, you're the one who has to reach out and say, hey, things are falling apart here. I need to figure out when I'm doing court, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so this won't happen again, right?
I would never.
Okay, then I'm going to let you go, and we'll send you notice by mail and text of your next court dates. In the meantime, you get in touch with Mr. Gasling.
Okay. Will do.
Okay,
Thank you.
we're all done. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
What date was her court date, guys? I missed it. Water, Lisa. Water is the answer.
At Nisqually, your name, please.
Chairman Brissett.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brissett.
So, of course, I'd just like to explain to anybody new here. There's 5 of you that are just dicks that have not hit the like button. That's okay. But I can tell. So, keep that in mind. Secondly, we have the gentleman down in the bottom right makes some excited utterances. Let's call them that. Yeah. I have a little bit, MB. I have a little bit. He's very nice. I like this judge. He's very compassionate, but he's like a catch and release fisherman. He's like, okay, come on in. Are you going to be good next time? Okay, come on back.
And Mr. Stillwell, this is also your case, is that right?
That's right, Your Honor. It's our office's case. Mr. Peter Kale has been appointed to represent Mr. Brissett on the pending FTC matters. I believe we're here today on a preliminary FTC hearing. It is also my understanding that Mr. Brissett is being held by some other courts there. I don't believe Mr. Kale has had an opportunity to speak with Mr. Brissett yet on this. So I think what we're requesting is for the FTC hearing to be set. Since he is in custody, perhaps a week from today, and allow Mr. Kale an opportunity to meet with Mr. Brissett and resolve those matters.
The 26th, they had a court date already set up. I believe with Chris Langley.
Right, and that would be on a Lacey case then. And what we're talking about here are state cases or Tumwater cases. All right, let's see. And Ms. Williamson, it looks like the allegation here appears to be, I'm guessing, Lacey case. Is that
There's a
right?
new law violation, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. And I'm looking, there also looks like a treatment issue. We have a notification of no proof of treatment.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yeah, my mom passed away, and so I fell off the treatment plan thing. And then, so now I'm back and I'm, gonna try and do that. Trying to get it restarted with Chris Langley. We were talking about that yesterday.
Okay, thank you. But it actually looks like the new charges are out of the city of Yelm.
Your Honor, as friend of the court, I have some info might be helpful. Ms. Williamson and I have been in touch with Yelm and Olympia. So all four jurisdictions are talking. Brissett also has cases pending in Olympia. All of them are pretty similar. So we've been working on this together today. Lacey's cases are set for Monday. I don't know if we'll be ready to do anything by that point. That's kind of fast, but so the court know that all of us are working on it.
Thank you. And the Lacey cases or cases are all or post disposition, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so the new law violations then are the Yelm law violations as well as allegations of treatment noncompliance. Okay. Thank you. Okay, and I don't see a Yelm hearing set.
I think it was Tuesday, Your Honor, when we looked at it. He had a arraignment scheduled for today. I don't know whether that happened. It looks like it was scheduled for 1 p.m. today.
Oh, okay.
No,
Is
wasn't.
Is Mr. Brissett going to be seen by the city of Yelm today?
No, Your Honor. Yum was seen at 8:30 this morning. I didn't know anything about it 1 p.m.
Okay, and so he was not seen on the 8:30 calendar this morning?
No, sir.
Okay. I would hope you guys contact Yelm and let them know that Mr. Brissett is in Nisqually custody so that they can get him on there.
I will send an email, Your Honor.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. At this point, so my inclination is to set this over 2 weeks to see if we can get this to have sufficient time to play out since he wasn't even arraigned in Yelm yet.
That makes sense, Your Honor. I had in my notes that he was already arraigned. Also at 1 p.m. as Mr. Sharp indicated, but that has not happened. Yeah, and it sounds like there's more moving pieces from different jurisdictions. So I think I'll make a note for 2 weeks out. That makes sense to me.
Okay, I'll send a notice out to the jail indicating 2 weeks will be on all three of these cases that we have scheduled today. I'll just send out one J&S, but all three are being reset 2 weeks. And if there's a resolution that occurs prior to that, we can get Mr. Brissett on sooner. But the scheduled hearing will be 2 weeks from today. And that'll be 7/6, July 6th. All right, thank you, Mr. Brissett.
Thank you.
And we will be heading into our main event for this evening. I'm going to skip this girl. She's sort of sad.
Noise?
My assessment.
Never mind. I didn't need to tip anybody. Okay,
Continue.
here's what we need to talk about. So I guess I shouldn't have skipped shit. I figure that out every time. Okay. When I was watching this, I thought they brought in the person they're talking about, but it turns out I don't think that's the case. So, the guy that's in custody is not who she's talking about, but at first I thought it was, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is insane." Like, so anyways, this is what was on the thumbnail for this evening. This is an ex parte TPO hearing. So, an ex parte TPO hearing is one in which only one of the parties is present with the judge. So they are used for very specific reasons in legal terms usually, and in matters where there's serious threat to life, it is time sensitive, and so that's why they do an ex parte hearing to begin with. The judge hears from one side and issues a temporary protective order, which has to be followed up with the 12-month hearing, which is a place for both sides to present evidence. And so that's why an ex parte temporary protective order doesn't really it's not like something you can be like, well, I had a restraining order against that person, because if they dismissed it after the 30 days, then you sort of didn't. You like did, but after 30 days, when somebody reviewed the evidence properly, they said, no, that's not issuable. So, if any of you watched the Depp v. Heard trial, you heard that term thrown about, where Miss Heard went and got an ex parte TPO, which was not turned into a permanent or a 12-month. I don't think. Anyways, so and they threw around ex parte, ex parte, ex parte, and I think the Grimm has said it perfectly. An ex parte is what you have immediately after the divorce. And that would be in front of that funny judge, right? He loves to parte. Guys, if you are just getting here, I understand that's okay, but we do a little thing here. We clock in for our shift by hitting that like button. It really helps the channel, helps me out, free for you. So if you could just go ahead and like do that, I don't have to mention it too much. I mean, when the ratio gets good, things are good. Anyways, let's continue. This is the ex parte hearing. Hello, people in court. All my friends, actually. Crystal, Lisa B, Billy Elliott. I don't know if Tanya wants me to call her out or not. Tanya, I love you, but I think sometimes you're like, this lady's annoying. How can I gamble more? I love it. But you're so polite usually with your heisting and your all your pleases. I love it. Okay, let's go along. Let's keep going. I'll shut my fat face and we will go. Come on, Judge. Judge, I literally bumped ahead. You were not reading this long. What's going on, man? If I hit the button, inevitably we will miss something. I can't do it now. I'm too far
The
in.
noise complaint? So did this start with a noise complaint?
It did.
Okay.
I was complaining about the noise. I didn't I don't know these people. I just found out their information from the police. So I don't know them. We're not friends. We're not even, we don't really even associate. So it did start out with a complaint that was a nuisance. And from there, it escalated to a personal, relentless, and continuous day, 24 hours, almost 24 hours, attack on my home and me personally.
So it's in response to your complaint.
Retaliation.
And is the apartment complex going to do anything about it?
I have made my statement to the property owner and the manager. So we're just trying to, I don't know. I feel like after hours, it escalates because the apartment next door to me is vacant. And I guess they feel like, you know, they can do whatever they want after hours. I do feel like the behavior, I want to stress to you, the court, that um, that the behavior is unprovoked and psychopathic. And I want to say that I'm saying that, and I'm actually downplaying my assessment of their behavior because it's been relentless, it's been unprovoked, and it's psychopathic in nature because I don't know these people. I haven't done anything to them. I'm old. I'm a middle-aged woman just living my life by myself, and I don't engage with that type of conduct.
Right.
So there would be no reason to.
And you don't have anybody else living in your unit, is that right?
I don't, and I feel like that has been exploited by these people because they feel like they have some. That's what I mean by psychopathic, because they feel they have someone that they can harass relentlessly, and these are, you know, kick the cripple down the stairs type of people.
Okay.
What did she just say? Keep in mind, this is not the dude below. He is not involved in this case.
And I don't engage with that type of conduct.
Right.
So there would be no reason to.
And you don't have anybody else living in your unit, is that right?
I don't, and I feel like that has been exploited by these people because they feel like they have some. That's what I mean by psychopathic, because they feel they have someone that they can harass relentlessly, and these are, you know, kick the cripple down the stairs type of people.
Okay.
And it has escalated in nature where the male is coming out of his house several times a day, saying things in my window, and when I try to leave, the female is tracking my movements inside the home. So when I leave, someone, either him or her, comes out and tries to have a confrontation. And yesterday, when I was trying to leave, I commute by bike. I don't have a car.
Hmm.
I've never had a car. And I
So you
don't.
go up and down Courthouse Hill?
I do. I live right across the street.
Right. I think that.
And you've probably seen me in my flag. But anyways, I was trying to leave, and he started in the front, right in front of this brazen attack right in front of the yard, where he's yelling, you know, F you and the B word, and saying that if he sees me on my bike, he's going to smash my head in. And this is a very dangerous person. Very dangerous. And when the police came over, they came over late. This was after calling numerous times for someone to take this matter serious. These aren't children behaving badly, party type of behavior. I can tolerate that. And I have no, I don't mind someone, you know, having a loud music or banging around if they have a party or something. This is not that sort of thing. This is not what's going on. This is deliberate and malicious behavior. But what I was going to say, I forgot. When the police finally did come, I felt like I felt like they didn't take the matter serious. And right after the police left, I endured an entire night of them being just relentlessly stomping, banging, throwing heavy things on the ground, their floor, my ceiling, for the entire night. I think I ended up with earplugs around 1 a.m. I think was when it quieted down, but that was my treatment after the police left. These are people.
Okay. We have to keep in mind this is an ex parte hearing, which means the one party is only here. We're going to mark the date. I will do my absolute best to follow up when we have both parties present and they can defend themselves. Here's the deal, guys. You know that I stomp around here all the time, yelling and jumping around. So, like, and way past 1 a.m. So, it's at this point, she's not actually said anything. She's alluded to things and she's said some really inflammatory statements, but she hasn't actually like verbalized. I don't know. Do you know? I don't know. Anyways, let's go. Yeah.
That they don't have any regard for the law, for the community, for neighbors. This person is out in public in the middle of the day yelling, cussing, and making threats to me to harm me.
So then shouldn't the police be able to easily arrest somebody for that if they're doing it in the middle of the day? I know this is Washington, but and they said her track her noise. That's anytime somebody says they track me, my ears perk up, and there's two reasons because both are juicy, okay? Either we get a 5150 situation or we get a crazy X situation tracking. But like, remember that guy that sewed the air tag into the car seat? That was creepy. Yes. Anyways. Or, oh, another one he put in the wipes. Fucking crazy. Chris with the fur. Thank you so much. Please again, pause again and say, I love you, Chris with the fur. Also, oh, yeah. Thank you. You track me because I let you. Sorry, my bad singing. Trackable to an extent because we want to be. When you worry about your neighbors a lot, sometimes you'll find that only one side is worrying about it.
Ms. Dow has done that as well as Mr. Fox.
They are both doing this. He comes down and says something. He's been the most threatening. He's making the threats to me to harm me, but both of them are in cahoots with each other.
So I am going to enter the protection order. You know, it's a little problematic because you all live in the same place and they live right above you. So typically, in a situation like this, we would not put a distance restriction on, from your residence, but I am going to do that in this case.
I appreciate it. I submit your common areas.
they can't come within 100 feet of you or your residence.
Thank you.
Now, that's going to necessitate some change in the arrangement at the apartment complex. So you're going to need to show this to your managers because they're going to have to move to another unit. Because being right above you, they are obviously well within the 100 feet. So just heads up, they probably won't be happy about that either, but that's going to be the order of the court.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And this order has to be served on them. I can send it direct at the Olympia Police Department, serve them. You can arrange, but you'll have to pay for that service. Or you can arrange to have somebody you know not related to you serve them. Or you can hire a process server. So how would you like to have them served?
I would either, can you do it? Can you send it to the department?
To the Olympia Police Department?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I think what'll happen is it'll be your obligation to get it to them. I will
Oh, I
direct,
can send it to them.
I'll direct that they do it. So I'm signing it right now to have Olympia serve them.
Okay.
And, you know, I think usually it's about $75 for the service. So you can work with them on that. Okay. The hearing date is set for the 3rd of July at 9 o'clock. And Ms. Dowell and Mr. Baugh have the right to be present. If they are not served, then we can't have the hearing. And if they're not served, then there is no protection order that can be enforced. So it's important that it does get served. So I would suggest you stay in good communication with the Olympia Police Department to make sure that it gets served. So for example, when you know they are present in the unit, you can call the Olympia Police and say, hey, now's a good time to come serve them because I know they're there, I can hear them. Something like that. So if I were you, I'd communicate with OPD, Olympia Police Department, and see what other information they may need to help them effectuate service.
Okay, I appreciate it.
All right. If you just wait outside, we'll in a few minutes get you a copy of all of this.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Uh, let me just see here. What do you think about that? So, first of all, I didn't catch the date. Did you guys catch the date of the follow-up? Because I didn't, and I need that because we got to follow up on this one for sure. Let me just pull the curtain here for a moment, and we are going to get to our actual main event, which is going to be a TPO 12-month hearing, which means everybody's present and all claws are out. So, give me a moment here. Let me find this video. Thank you for throwing those hearts in the chat and the likes in the chat. Can we get an F in the chat for any downstairs neighbors of my house? F in the chat for my downstairs neighbors, I think. Okay, great. That's awesome. F in the chat for my downstairs neighbors who probably want a TPO against me. Anyways, what did I say? I said we're doing the TPO. Sometimes when I don't plan it out, I seem better prepared than when I do. Heads up, guys, we got, what do we even call this judge? I don't know what we call her. Judge Woke. I don't actually know what we call her, but the lady judge
You have heard the
that
testimony
I
from
look
Ms. Rowe
like.
about a number of different things which happened.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. We're not ready for that yet. That's so in the middle. So in the middle.
Willful to contempt and incarceration.
Oh, this was, I'm going to listen to that one because that message is for me specifically. So warning, this is a TPO hearing. I have not watched the entire thing, or if I did, I probably watched it on like 2x and didn't really listen to it entirely. So I don't actually know what's happening. please keep that in mind. These can be a little bit triggering. They are adults talking about adult matters. I am going to go ahead and get off of this guy's face because his eyes, he's rolling his eyes so much. So let's see here. We'll get it started.
For any willful violation of this court order and rules. So at this point, this is, as I said, Rochelle Rowe versus Christopher Ramirez. Mr. Ramirez is represented by attorney Leah Bassi, and Ms. Rowe is a pro se petitioner. So the way this will work is that I will swear both parties in, and then the petitioner bears the burden of proof in this case by preponderance of the evidence, so she gets to go first. She will tell the court everything she wants the court to know about why she has filed this petition and why she is seeking a continuance of the order for 12 months if she is. And then she will be able to introduce any evidence or attempt to introduce any evidence she wishes to. And we will go from there. Then Ms. Abbasi will have the opportunity to cross-examine Rowe and ask any questions she has regarding any of the testimony or evidence that's been presented. And then once we have heard from Ms. Rowe and any witnesses and testimony, if there are any other witnesses, then it will be Mr. Ramirez's chance to testify if he chooses to or present any evidence or testimony. Ms. Abbasi, I believe from the filings, was your client arrested in this case?
Yes, he was arrested on May 26th and the TPO was taken out. It was applied for on the 20, let me make sure I'm getting this right.
It looks like it was filed on the 30th.
Filed on the 30th, it was granted, the order was signed on the June 1st. So they actually skipped a day in there.
Okay, so I just need to make sure, I'm sure you have done so. And before, when it's his turn, I'll make sure I will reiterate that you've gone over with him that anything, if he chooses to testify in this case, can be used against him in his criminal case and can detrimentally affect that criminal case.
Yes, Your Honor. So I anticipate that at that point where he needs to make that decision, we would be asking either for a breakout room or just to step away and I can speak with him over the phone to make that decision.
Okay. We will do that then. All right. And so at this point, Mr. Ramirez, if you would unmute yourself, please, sir. And then if both of you would please raise your right hands, Ms. Rowe. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury, Ms. Rowe?
Yes, I do.
And Mr. Ramirez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you both. You can lower your hands. All right. So at this point, Ms. Rowe, you filed this petition. How long have you known Mr. Ramirez?
Since 2016.
And
October,
just to be safe, can you state your full name for the record, ma'am?
Rochelle Garvino Rowe.
Okay. And at any point, did you start living together?
Yes.
Around when was that?
In March of 2018 to March of 2020. And then when the lease was up, we went our separate ways, and then for 2 years. And then no, it wasn't for 2 years. No, we got back together. Yeah, it was 2 years. We just got back together. So the lease was up March of 2020. And then we just got a lease together again in November 2022.
Okay. And did y'all start dating or in an intimate relationship before November 2022?
Yeah, so we were together when we lived together the first time, and then we separated when the lease was up March 2020. And then we got back together. We started dealing again, maybe like August or so, 2020 or something like that. And then we started, we got more serious I believe it was like March 2021 is when we actually made it official and got back together, like we actually were in a relationship. And then yeah, we've been together ever since, and then we just moved back in here November 2022. We moved back together 2022.
All right. And so why did you file, well, let me ask you this, just to be clear. Have you ever been married?
No,
And do you have any children together?
no.
All right. Are there any shared accounts, monetary accounts, utilities, rent?
Yeah, so there's shared rent. Both of our names were on the lease, and the utilities were in my name. Yeah, both of our names are on the lease, and the utilities are in my name.
And do you both get mail there?
I think I get mail there. I don't really remember. I've probably seen him get mail here once, like one envelope.
All right. And so why did you file for this, a petition for a protective order in this case?
So we've had a history of, like domestic violence. There's been a history of like aggression and stuff between us getting out of hand. I sent some evidence from like even when we lived together the first time. And it just everything has just been getting worse. So what caused me to do it this time was okay, are you asking the details of everything that led to this? Are you asking the details of the info of exactly what happened, or are you asking?
Just tell me what you want me to know about why you filed this order of protection, for this order of protection.
So I was frustrated with him. We share a car. I was frustrated with him, and
I'm gonna pause for a minute. You share a car.
so we shared a car. So his car was messed up. So we were sharing my car while we were living together recently, and I've
But that
always
car is in your name and you pay for it?
yes. So I've always asked, like, give me a heads up ahead of time if he wanted to do something. He'd always like do stuff last minute. So he last minute asked me, to go use my car to get a haircut to go to someone who's someone who had passed at his job. And I said, okay, it was around 2 o'clock. But then I let him know I ended up missing my training session because he came back late and I was like upset about that. I'm frustrated. So Monday and Wednesdays are like the days I would clean up and do stuff around the house because after work, I would run out to try to do training and stuff like that. So since, he was gone, I was missing that, I decided to just fold the clothes. So I was frustrated. My friend called me on FaceTime and I'm just venting to her about a lot of stuff that we had going on and just me being frustrated. I originally sat down to watch a show and fold the clothes, and I was frustrated because I'm like, okay, I came in from the gym the night before, the dishes were piled up, and he was sitting next to a pile of clothes and there was clothes in the room and he didn't fold and stuff like that. So I was just voicing some stuff to her. He heard me talking about him and stuff like that. And then he came out. First, he was saying I was too loud. He was working. Then eventually he came out and was arguing with me and saying I was lying and stuff like that, how I just put all the clothes there. And he didn't even know the person who I was speaking to. They've never met. He'd never met my friend. So what I did, being that she called me on FaceTime, I lift my phone up. No, I lift my phone up and I took to the washing machine to show her, like, listen, like, look at all the clothes. I have my towel, I have the towels, I have my daughter's school clothes, and I have my gym clothes all in this couch. I don't wash them together. And I was showing her, I said, look at this washing machine. I had the camera up like that. I said, look at the washing machine. There's no way in hell that I just did all of this right now. Like that's what I was like, we started arguing and whatnot. Oh, he was saying I was lying and stuff like that, cursing me and calling me a Bumby and all this other stuff and whatnot. And then he got close. He was in the kitchen getting something to eat. And like while I was talking to my friend, he was there arguing back and forth while he was doing whatever in the kitchen. And then he got closer to me. because I was already standing up because I was showing her the stuff. So he got closer to me in my face. So what I did, I turned my back because I was always on FaceTime. I turned my back towards him and I said, look at this, look at him in my face right now. Look at him. I cursed. I cursed. I said, look at this. Is it okay if I just say what I said? I said, look at this bitch ass nigga in my face right now. Like, look what he's doing right now in my face. And then he got mad because he was so close in my face. And then he got mad and like, well, he been mad, but he knocked the phone out of my hand. My first response was, so you're gonna hit me. That's how hard he knocked the phone out of my hand. It wasn't even like and then I said, oh, so you're gonna knock the phone out of my hand? And then again, that's how hard he did it. It eventually left a bruise that I didn't even realize was there until I was walking the officer through everything. But anyway, so he had the plate in one hand, and then he had a fork in the other hand. So I turned to him like when he did that, because I was like this when he did that. I was like, so you gonna hit me, you gonna knock the phone out of my hand? And then he said, oh, I wish you, I'm not the, I wish you. So he was doing like, flexing at me with the fork in his hand and whatnot. And like I knew not to hit him back. I knew not to do anything. Like I can tell he wanted to hit me. First of all, I wasn't even being aggressive to him, and I got the phone knocked out of my hand before he just went back in his office or whatever and closed the door. So what I did, I just took a picture that was from his mom. Like it was a gift from his mom, and it was like we were going to decorate the apartment with it, but we just never put it up. So I just took it and I tossed it in my frustration. And in his office, away from him, I did not hit him with a picture. He even messaged my mom and said that I tried to hit him with a picture, meaning he never got hit. So I tossed the picture away from him, just out of frustration, just out of, and then I turned around and then he grabbed me by my hair, like pulled me back, like you fucking bitch, and he pulled me back. And then I fanned off of him, like just got away. And then I went and I grabbed my phone that was on the floor. And I told my friend, no, I'm gonna call you back. He got me fucked up. I'm about to call the police. So that's what happened. I called the police and then they came. And at first I guess he was denying everything, that he did anything. And then as I was walking the officer through what happened step by step, that's when, and due to the motion of everything, that's when I seen I had a bruise on my hand from how hard he knocked the phone out of my hand. I didn't even know that was there originally. So that's what happened, and he got arrested. And the reason why I decided to push it to a no contact was not only the fact that, because he was even lying to the officer about doing anything. He was reaching out to my family and saying that I was lying and how he didn't do anything. And I remember I was on the phone. I was on the phone. I forgot exactly who it was. I was on the phone, talking about what happened. And he was like, oh, she's lying. She's lying. I said, so you didn't pull my hair? Nope. So you didn't knock the phone out of my hand? Nope. That's what he was saying. So at that point, I felt like, okay, because we had already had an incident prior to, and I called the police on him. I ended up having stitches. I was on my way I sent the evidence of that. I was on my way to get the medical records, but with the traffic, it was too late. So I couldn't get the actual medical records from my doctor. And they wouldn't let me send it via email. They said HIPAA purposes. So I just uploaded the pictures that I couldn't
Can you
get.
give me an approximate date of when you're talking about?
That was that was in February. That was February that happened. The exact date, I don't remember.
February of this year?
Yes, February of this
Okay,
year.
so you're saying you have pictures from both of those that you have submitted?
I submitted that and I ended up getting.
Okay, so hold on. So let me ask you this first. What are you saying happened with the stitches incident?
Okay, so with that, I had called I was texting him. So I went into his phone and I seen some messages from his mom about, her just saying that I'm not, a woman. So I was venting to her about the issues that I was having with him. And then she was telling me something different. And then I went looking because I was just trying to make sense, like nothing, I was trying to just make sense, but to see if someone was holding him accountable or if she was keeping the same energy with me or and I went looking in the phone and then I seen her telling him like, oh, I have her idea of what a wife or what a woman is and this. You want someone who hold a man, something like that, just hold down or whatever. So I was frustrated with that. So I was next to him in bed texting him. And I guess his phone went off, like he woke up looking for his phone. So I put it on his chest, and then he's seeing the messages come in. So I was saying to him, like, no, and he was trying to talk, and I was saying, no, I don't want to talk to you. I don't, like, I was just venting, like, getting it off. I didn't wake him up to try to talk to him or anything like that. I wanted him to see the messages when he got it, because I felt like there was really nothing to talk about. But I wanted him to know that I knew, and I was just, I don't even remember all that I was saying. I mean, if it gets there, I can eventually get that too, but I was messaging him. Long story short, we got into it because he's sitting right next to me, and he would always get in my face. Like, he always gets in my face when we're arguing. Like, I could be sitting on the couch. There's a time when I was sitting on the couch, and he walks over to me to lean over into I don't know, he always feels a need to get into my face when we're arguing. So he got into my face. And like, when we were like literally right next to each other in the bed talking loud, there was no need for that. So he got into my face, and I pushed him like that, like, get out of my face, and then he hit me back. Like, oh, don't hit me. So, all right, whatever. I got out of the bed, and we got into it, and then yeah, we got into it, and then I hit him, and then he hit me back, and then he pushed me. He pushed me so hard that I hit the back of my head, head, like right here. I hit this into my coffee table. Into the bedside table. I went flying. So when that happened, the back of my earring went into the back of my ear, and I had to get stitches for it because it was bleeding. But anyway, I called the police because I wanted him to leave. He was saying, no, I'm not leaving. It's my shit. It's my shit. I paid the rent. I paid it. I ain't leaving. You leave it. That's what he was saying. And then when the cops came again, I never wanted him to get arrested. When the cops came, okay, they had us separated. I just want him to leave. I thought he would have left. I'm calling the cops. I'm bleeding. Hello, just leave. You're probably gonna get in trouble if they find out, that he didn't leave. And when they came, they kept us separated. So I was just crying and stuff. I was upset still, but I never said what happened. I never told on him because I never wanted him to get arrested. And when we got back together now, that's when they're telling me that, or the other, because it was two officers, one was with him, the other one was. But anyway, they came to me and they were saying, like, he said that I woke him up out of his sleep with a punch in the face. And I'm like, what? Like, that's not true. So, and then when we were going back and forth, I thought I had that via text, but I don't. But when we were going back and forth, and I was, cursing him out and arguing with him about lying to the police on me, saying, like, how dare you? Like, I didn't even say what happened, and you just gotta go lie on me. He didn't, because you called the cops on me, duh. So that's why he did that. So the reason why we're here today is because I feel like things have gotten worse between us. I don't know if you see the pictures. I had stitches on my hand.
So you have to tell me what those are, and then the clerk will need to pull them up.
Okay. Well, long story short, for now, we've gotten gradually worse. Nothing has been improving. Nothing has been improving at all. So with that being said, like, and I feel like because I didn't press charges or even show them what happened or anything like that, like, I feel like that made him comfortable because, again, I'm going to be honest with you, only one time, like, he's grabbed me up, and I sent the screenshot of when he messaged when we were going back and forth when I had told him to get out of my place. And then, I was saying that you grabbed me up, and he apologized for it. So other than that, he's never really just come, and just like we were arguing, but I wasn't even talking to him. I wasn't being aggressive. I wasn't in his face. I was avoiding him at this point, saying, like, go back into the office. Like, I'm not even talking to you. Why are you in the most conversation? Blah, blah, blah. And then he, I wasn't being aggressive at all. And I felt like me calling the police and not showing them or anything made him feel comfortable to handle me the way he did, because I didn't do anything. And I felt like he felt like, and I told him, like, I didn't, after we made peace again and whatnot, like, I didn't want you to get arrested and blah, blah, blah. I feel like me doing that made him feel comfortable to take it up a notch. And I just wanted to protect myself. I did not feel safe, especially since he lied about everything. And it's like, I had a birthday trip that was planned June 8th to the 12th or something, I think it was. And this was planned since like March, and I was making payments too. And it's like, this all just happened like right before that. this is the man who's paying the rent, who's the financial provider here, like I showed, there's record that, with his card on it that he's paying the rent. I don't even know the login to log up in there anymore. He's the one that pays it. So it just makes no sense for me to, lie about something so big as this. And now I'm sitting here in limbo and just kind of stressed out about what's going to happen. I have a daughter, where to go. I've even written this man 4-page letters about how, we can't do this anymore. Like, I'm frustrated. I want to go our separate ways. I don't know how many times I told him we're going our separate ways. When the lease is up, I'm going to go and tell them, in August, we're going to go and let them know that we're going our separate ways and we're not renewing the lease. My plan has always been to, after my birthday month and after his birthday month, whatever, to just put all my money towards my cars to pay that off. So when the lease is up in November, I'm going my separate way. That's what I had always planned to do. It makes absolutely no sense for me to.
Is it too soon to joke that they should figure out her breathing techniques for the people on the submarine before they were found? RIP. I'm such a bad person. Literally, has she taken a breath? And I'm a fast talker.
Do this to the head of household, the person who is paying rent, okay, to put myself in this financial stress right now for something that he did not do. It makes no sense.
Okay, without further ado, what I'm going to do, this is going to sound crazy to you guys, but just be prepared for this. We are going back 60 seconds. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? I'm going to put this on 2x speed. Be prepared. It will make it 4x because it was recorded on 2x. This is half speed, by the way. We've already listened to it. We're only going to listen for, it's literally 1 specific minute. So it's, okay. Wait for it. It's going to pass really quick. It'll pass in we need to know that, 30 seconds. Yeah.
I felt like me not showing them anything comfortable telling me what he did. Like, we got like he felt like I told him like I didn't make peace again when I was I feel like me too, and I didn't comfortable together or not. And I just wanted to make sure I everything. And it's like I had a birthday trip planned on June 8th to the 12th. And like, this was planned since like March, and I was getting to. And it's like, it all just happened right before that. This is when this man paying rent, who's the financial provider here. Like I showed he had a record that his card that he paying around, the lines a lot, and he's like, so it makes no sense for me to lie about something so big as now. Now I'm sitting here limbo, kind of stressed out. I have to go. I even asked this man 4 days later about how we can't. This is why I'm fresh out of the way. I'm time to go last week. I'm going to tell him, August we're going to go let them know that last week we're not going to lease. My plan has always been to have my birthday month, just go on my knees when my car's paid out, so when the lease is November, I'm going last week.
Okay, wow. You guys, that's gotta be the fastest talking. Okay, if somebody can find me faster we have parameters now. She is the champion. My God, she is the absolute champion. I've never seen. Nobody else is reacting. It's like she sucked all the oxygen away from everybody else. Seriously, guys, somebody send a timestamp to me right now. I am crowning this woman right now the fast talking 4x champion. That's what we call it. Med check, Crystal, good idea. Med check, like check. How are those likes doing? I may have been on the porch. I'm gonna tell. We're doing pretty good, actually. We are over ratio. You guys, the poor man didn't react at all. I'm not condoning any behavior, but can you imagine when she's going? She's probably trying to meter herself maybe a tiny bit for court. Just imagine. I mean, and I sit here and just talk all night long, but I slow myself down on purpose. This is insane. My Ritalin's wearing off, Graham. Thank you for that. Med check, med check, med check. Okay, I gotta slow it back down and watch. I just want you all to watch. Oh, sorry. First of all, I'm not hiding the magic here. Watch this. Speed. So that was at 2x, but I already recorded it at 2x, so that was 4x. I have been playing it the entire time on 0.5 speed, okay? And she's a fast talker, folks. This lawyer looks like she's had, unfortunately, a stroke. Let's remember the 4 things when somebody's had a stroke: the face, the arms, their speech, and are they talking? I think that's it. Fast, F-A-S-T. Keep those in mind. If you're in doubt, call 911.
What I had always planned to do. It makes absolutely no sense for me to do this to the head of household, a person who is paying rent, okay, to put myself in this financial stress right now for something that he did not do. It makes no sense. I feel like it's just, I want to say, for me, it's obvious that he did everything that I'm saying he did, because not why would I do this? Now I'm sitting here stressed out. I just got my raise this year. I went from $16.50 to $23.49, and I'm grateful for it, but I needed time to get my finances in order. So it makes absolutely no sense for me to go through all of this and stress my own self out when I was smooth sailing until November for something that he did not do. I just don't see the point of it. It's not even me by myself. I'm here with my daughter. Like, I'm easily stressed. I had, hypothyroidism that had went to Hashimoto since we moved back in here together. Like, it's just a lot going on. Like, it has been going on, and I did that to protect myself mentally, emotionally, and physically, because he lied. I'm not gonna say he was in here beating me up every day. I'm not gonna say I'll just sit down, say something to me, you'll come and punch me or anything. Like, I'm not gonna say things happen like that. But I couldn't guarantee that if we got into something again, that nothing would happen, especially if, especially with what just happened. And I feel like a part of it was my fault, because I made him feel comfortable by not showing them. I just feel like I had to do it, and I didn't want to do it. I even mentioned, like, if we could come to some agreement, because I started to feel guilty. Like, I don't want it to be where it messes up his, anything goes on his record. But then it's like, okay, I have to do what's best for me. Like, I feel like he should have thought about that before he did what he did. It's not for me to worry about X, Y, Z. It's for me to make sure that I'm in a better position mentally, emotionally, and physically. And that's why I went through with it.
All right. So you have, Ms. Broom, do you have any photographs from the petitioner? Just one moment.
She's not even out of breath.
Our clerk may be checking.
Your clerk
Like
may have
3
been
different
hypnotized.
emails.
Oh,
Okay, so
okay.
label docket 1. Is that the one you want to show?
I'm not sure. I don't remember which order it was in, but you can upload anyone and I'll be glad to explain what they are.
Okay, Judge, you want me to show the person?
You may, and have these been shared with the respondent's attorney?
So I couldn't get that out. We can move. Yeah. So yeah, that's back in 2019. When yeah,
When green fingernail polish was in 2019. I'm sorry. God, I'm such a
that's back in 2019, when we had gotten physical, and I had to get stitches on my hand and my fingers, and I was in a brace because of that. But I never told them what happened. I never said anything. I just went and got my hand taken care of.
Were you all living together at that time?
I was in 2019, when we were living together, me, him, and my daughter.
All right, are there any other?
Yeah, that's when I had to get the stitches and the sprain. I had stitches and a sprain on, or I'm not even sure what you call it, on that hand.
And what led up to the interaction on that day?
Honestly, Yana, I don't remember exactly what we were arguing about. It was so long ago. Like, it was in 2019. That's how bad we are. Like, it's just toxic how we get. I don't remember, but I just uploaded that to show proof of domestic violence.
Okay. What is this exhibit?
This is back in May. It was May 21st last year. I mean, May 21, when he disrespected me. We were in my bed and he was disrespecting me. This was before we moved in together. I was in my own place. And I said, you know what, just get the fuck out. And when we were leaving, he just snapped kind of too. It was just weird because like we were leaving and I was still, running my mouth like, I'm sick of this shit, all you do. Like he just snapped and grabbed me up. I'm tired of telling you, I'm sick of you disrespecting me. Watch how you talk to me. I'm sick and tired of your mouth. And was like just grabbed me up and whatnot and like was tussling, like just grabbing me. He didn't hit me, but he grabbed me up and like was just kind of roughing me up and stuff. And then yeah, I was telling him to leave. He didn't want to leave. So I actually left and pretended. I went back into my room to get my phone and pretended that I was going to call the police. And that's when I came back, that's when he was out to his car, whatever. Because I was saying, I'm calling the cops. He didn't care. He didn't want to leave my place. I guess it was just a power thing. I don't like why he just didn't want.
Yeah, we need to zoom in on this. What is going on here? We need to there's nothing Larry needs to deal with. We just need to analyze this right here. I'll blow it up for those of you who maybe aren't able to read this. I can click on it. Okay, it starts. I don't want to be nowhere near you. I don't want to be with you. You up in my shit violating me. I'm done and I want to just leave this toxic ass shit right where it's at. I grabbed you. I apologize. We ain't fucking going nowhere, clearly. You're not a man enough. You're not man enough, clearly. 1 minute and 48 seconds of her talking, which we can only imagine literally contains an average of 6 minutes of conversation. Followed by, just want my bread. You can have all that other shit. What kind of bread? Is that money? Or bread? I have so many questions.
Leave. And then when I went to get my phone, I pretended to call. I didn't even call them. That's when I got back to the front, he was already down the stairs and to his car. And then I uploaded this to show. It says, I don't want to be with you. You up in my shit violating me. I'm done. And I want to just leave this toxic ass shit right where it's at. And then he put, I grabbed you. I apologize. And then I put, we ain't fucking going nowhere. So clearly you're not man enough. Okay, so yeah, so and I want my money back and all this other stuff because we were supposed to, like at that time we were going on a trip and I had paid towards the trip and I was saying I wanted my money back. So that was him admitting to grabbing me up. And that was in 2021. This is the incident I described, and I sent that message to his mom. I sent it to his mom, and then his mom was like, I'm sorry that this happened. You or Chris are both wrong. So it was like, this is why, like, it was like, no, and I get it, that's her son, but it's like, he doesn't tell her these things. Like, she.
Okay, if anybody does not believe that if you tuned in right now, you would have absolutely no idea that this is court. You would think this is accidentally we beamed into somebody's therapy session, their first therapy session, where they're talking to their therapist about this. Oh, George Richmond, what, some bread? Yeah, baby. What kind of bread? I fucking love you so much. Thank you. Seriously. Oh my God. She says though she wants her money, and I knew she was referring to bread, I guess, because I just couldn't imagine not specifying like I want my sourdough or
yeah.
thank you. but like, you know what I mean? Like, or where's my rye? Or paws off my peasant bread, or cross my croissants. I don't know. Anyways, let's keep going. Also, thank you so much, George. I love bread, first of all. Money and bread. I love all bread. Oh my God, that's great.
Never knows what's going on unless I reach out and tell and whatever. So it was just crazy to me to hear her say y'all are both wrong and you don't even know what happened, but whatever. So that was what happened when I was shoved earlier on this year in February, and I had to get stitches behind my ears. And I was on my way because I thought I wouldn't be able to upload it because it's been over 24 hours. I was on my way to get it, and like 20 minutes to get there. So I just came back because they wouldn't let me get it because of HIPAA laws.
Okay, so your testimony is this is you on that date.
Yes, this is me in February. And I was taking the pictures and I sent it to his mom, and as you see, it's very deep. I had to get stitches on it. But I this time I did let my doctors know what happened. And again, I was headed to get it, but I don't think I would have made it back on time with the traffic.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So
what?
again,
What about traffic now? I'm very confused. Hector, thank you for being here. Charles, as usual. You know I love you, babe. I'm not disputing some of this happened, but like if we're listening to the words, she just talked about traffic as if it's a reason to not be able to produce evidence. Am I right? Am I wrong? I don't know. Let's check that. That does look like she's definitely pulling it open.
on it. But I this time I did let my doctors know what happened. And again, I was headed to get it, but I don't think I would have made it back on time with the traffic.
Okay.
So again, the reason why I did this is because, like, you know, we tend to living together and stuff like that and being around each other, like we get, like, you know, you make friends. It's so toxic and sad to say, like, how do you make friends? Like, just speaking about it, like, why do you go back to this, like, saying it? But I did it because I didn't want to, you know, just put it to the side again when he's being nice or whatever, or we ended up being friends again. Like, I just want this, like, I just don't want to do it anymore. Like, I just wanted to protect myself.
Okay. You said there was a picture of your hand. Do you know, is that true or not true?
That is the picture of my hand. I mean, what with the sprain? I think that might have been.
No, you mentioned that did you submit any other pictures you wanted the court to consider?
No, that was a picture of my hand that we saw with the stitches, and then the second one was a message where he admitted to grabbing me up and like roughing me up or whatever. And then the second one is just to show what happened when I was shoved and how I hit. Yeah, that was it.
Okay. So did he come back to the home before he was served with the ex parte order?
He did. He came back to the home. So he texted me asking to meet to come here to get his stuff because he had left his keys. So I didn't want to be here. So I had my brother come here and I left. I had my brother come and I let him in on the patio. And then I had walked out and I had left. And then he got some things. I was sitting in my car. I waited for my brother to call me and tell me that he's gone. And that's another thing too.
So wait, let me ask you this. So did he move out before?
He didn't move out. He just came and got a few things, and then he came back the very next day with an officer to get some more things.
Okay.
And try to get the key. But he didn't say he was like, we never spoke. We never had an actual conversation. Even that conversation when he was coming here was just via text. And that was that. We never had a conversation about anything about moving or nothing. He just came and got some stuff and then he left. And then he just showed up the next day late at night with the officer. That was it.
Have you had any more communications from him since then?
Yes, we have had communications, when he was blaming me and saying I initiated the whole thing, saying I'm evil. So I was reaching out to him because the officer told me I couldn't keep his key. So at the time I didn't have the key on my person. So I was reaching out to him to let him know, okay, you can come and get some stuff because I didn't want it to, because she said by law I couldn't do that because at the time he wasn't served. And, and I showed her that I had something in the word, like it's something pending. And she said, well, it's not thing yet. You can't do that, blah, blah. So to protect myself and not put myself in the wrong, I was reaching out to him to let him know, you can come get your stuff. You can come and, I'm not trying to keep you out of the apartment or anything like that. I'm not trying to do that and whatnot. That was when we communicated. It was via text. We never really had a conversation. And then we were going back and forth via text when he's telling me it's my fault, everything is my fault, I'm evil, he's done providing for me, go half on the rent, all your shit is gonna be out on the 4th, eviction on the 4th.
So hold on, is this after he was arrested and released?
Yes, this is after he was arrested and released. Eviction is on the 4th. All your shit is gonna be out. This and this, pay half. I'm done with you. You're evil. Everything I have is at risk. You initiated the whole thing. You were talking loud about me. You were talking about me like a dog, and it's not just putting everything on me. And I've admitted what I've done. I've admitted to talking loud. I've admitted that I know he heard me, but I don't think that gives you a right to do what you did. And like,
So let me ask you this, how many texts did you receive from him like that after he was released?
oh my God. We were going back and forth for a while, like maybe a couple days. It was a while. It was a lot of text messages, a lot of back and forth. But I think once, because I told him not to talk to me or contact me, like he's not supposed to even be talking to me. But I don't think he was served yet. So when he was served, I think he was served because he stopped responding and stuff like that. And I got a call from block number like in the morning, like 2 in the morning, and I reached out and asked if it was him. He said no. Then I was getting butt dials. That's what he said it was, or his attorney told me that's what he said it was on WhatsApp, whatever, twice. And that's so I was like, okay, why do you keep calling me? Like I felt like he was trying to get me to reach out to him or to have something to go and get, like, to show that
So when did you receive 2 butt dials allegedly?
um
Around when?
I'll tell you right now. This was June 12th. Yeah, 2 was on June 12th. When I was coming back from my trip, actually, I received two calls from him on June 12th, one at 3:22 and another one at 6:39.
Is that PM or AM?
They're both PMs. And then I had called him, but prior to him even being served, I had called him to let him know. I think it was late at night. And I called him to let him know because I had the key. That was the first time I was reaching out. I was with my friends and they were saying like, well, you can't do that and stuff. So that was the first time that I reached out to him to let him know, okay, I wanted you to know you could come and get your stuff at 2 in the morning. So it was loud where I was at. But I just wanted to do that. And then he said he couldn't hear me. And I hung up. And then I just texted him while I was reaching out. But other than that, we hadn't had any conversation. And I called him to let him know to get his stuff after. And when he realized it was me, he hung up and said, oh, I can't talk to me. He just hung up. So I just left it alone because I'm like,
So
what?
did you call him after he was served with a protective order?
I think so. That's when he said, I can't talk to you anymore. But I didn't know exactly when he was served. Like, that's when I realized he was served because he said, oh, I can't talk to you. And he just hung up.
Why were you calling him?
To tell him that he can come and get his stuff because I was leaving. Because I was going on the trip on June 8th. It was June 8th to the 12th. And again, I was told that I was by law, like I couldn't keep, his stuff. And he was talking about, like, he sent me messages, oh, I have mail coming and you can't keep me out and this and this. So I was just trying to protect myself. But when we did get here that I didn't, and that was that. Once he said, oh, I can't talk to you and hung up, like whatever. I just left it alone. Like, But I was just trying to let him know that he can come and get his stuff. I just always said, even via messages, just have escort. Like, I just wanted him to have police escort for our protect, like, you know, for my protection, because again, like, just didn't know what would happen, what could happen, and I didn't want to be told, oh, she's lying again. And then he would say stuff like, oh, you're doing all of this just because I didn't propose. Like, nothing, just, it was just too much. Like, I just wanted to order protection before, just to protect myself.
Just to be clear at this point, I am asking this question about the lawyer because she hasn't objected to this extremely long narrative that is ridiculous. So it's nothing to do with her face. I'm objecting to the fact that she's there and she hasn't done anything, even to just break this shit up. Like, what? Like, judge is like, come on, throw me a bone here. Let's rein this in. Look at the judge's face. She's like, oh my God. Look at him. He's like, I'm outside. I have it on my headphones, but my headphones are down on the table where my phone is. So he's probably not even listening. He's probably got methods though. I mean, he was with her for a long time. So and the lawyer, I'm just concerned because at the very least. Anyways, let's keep going.
Okay. And he's still on the lease?
He's still in the lease.
All right. So at this point, Ms. Abbasi, you are free to cross-examine the witness.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Rose, so I'm going to ask you to kind of repeat the last thing it was you said. Why is it you feel you need an order of protection?
I felt like I needed an order of protection because it's constant, like, back and forth. Things have gotten worse between us. And, you know, I wasn't even being aggressive to him and he did what he did. And then he lied about it. And he said that, that like I was making the whole thing up and I was just mad at him. I'm going through all of this just because he didn't propose. So that's why I did an order of protection, because I didn't feel safe and I felt threatened. And I didn't want us to get into another heated argument after we made up or whatever and just end up going through the whole thing again and it getting worse. So I just went through with it and got an order of protection this time because it's like a pattern. And this is the one thing, I've never done it before, and like to avoid it and get out of it and try to protect myself, I just went forth with the order of protection.
Okay. But what you've mentioned is there is a history of you being frustrated with him for not proposing to you, correct?
So we did promise, so I was gonna move with my
That was cross. Is that what this is? I'm legitimately being discombobulated by this testimony. Fringe was good. Do you know what else was good? Warehouse 13. Okay. Daylight, thank you so much for being here. Guess what? I got a P.O. box. The address is in my description now. I want things. I'm sorry, I still live in Canada. I have no clue how much it costs to send things here, but the P.O. box is up. Okay. And I think I would really like is like maybe cards. Let's do Christmas in July. Can we do Christmas in July? And you guys mail me cards for July, and Nana will be so confused when I start pulling out all these specialized Christmas cards, but address them to Nana. And we'll play a joke and we'll pretend that it's Christmas in July year. And Nana will be like, what? But make sure what we'll have to do is you guys can write me stuff, but include a card that's written in your own penmanship, address it to Nana, and sign it from a random name. Don't mention YouTube. Just pretend like you're an old friend. Okay? Oh my God. Seriously. we're doing that. That's an official thing. You are all tasked. Because I don't know how much it costs, but it can't cost that much to mail a letter. Okay? Plus, I think they pick up the mail in where you are. Courtney, I don't know what I can receive or not. Apparently, I can't receive UPS. I was like, yeah, I think UPS brings it right. I don't know what that means. Just don't send it UPS, apparently. But I'm serious. That is what we're doing. She's not listening. She's on the phone right now. There was a TikTok thing, sort of like this, but it's in Christmas. We're gonna do this different. This is gonna be ours. Okay. So I would like you guys to really suss out as many cards as you can muster. You can write them all. Yeah. It could be fun. We could just address them all Nana. But I could also just give you her first name because I don't care. US Postal Service, yeah, would pick it up and they would like, yeah, but Sylvia, I'm talking about people sending it to me from abroad because I got a PO box in Victoria, BC. Anyways, you guys, this is happening. I am going to make that official, okay? I'm so excited. This is going to be fun. So you can send me anything you want, but you can just address kitchen, or you can address KCC, or you can address Nana. You can keep the whatever you want. You don't have to make the entire thing just to Nana. Like if you want to just put a card in, I'll be bringing them in to Nana. I'll be like, wow, look at all these different cards that keep arriving. And it'll be for the whole month of July. I would really appreciate a sustained effort on this because it would tickle me to no end to daily or almost daily be producing new Christmas cards. But make sure it's like you reference Christmas in July 2023 as if it's like a worldwide event. Like as requested by the Prime Minister and the President and all the people in the world. Oh, I'll be hanging them everywhere, dude. No, that's the whole beauty is that it's going to decorate everywhere because I'm going to put the first one up. A harmless prank, right? I I love y'all. Okay, let's keep going. Plus, she'll be like, you didn't do this all by yourself.
Mom, right? So I was gonna move with or have my mom help me to I was gonna have her help me get an apartment. And he begged me not to do it. I said, no, I'm not trying to shack up with you.
Oh, handmade the better also would be amazing. And what I'll do is I'm going to post. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. We are going to post a list of specific things and people you can mention in them. I'll do a community post after this live. And you can reference that when writing your card. So none of you can do it until tomorrow unless you want to be a real key. But seriously, and you'll be able, it'll make it so much better. It'll be like a fill in the blanks. Like you can pick and choose which parts you want to reference. It'll be so funny. Oh my God. This is the kind of shit I fucking love. Okay, let's keep going. Nana's done off the phone. I can't talk about it now.
Again, I'm not trying to do this again. And he was like, yeah, no, I promise you, gonna be done by such and such date. And I just give me some time. My card's messed up, you know, and I understood it and I believed it. I wanted to be supported because I have a move, you know, he has a move. My move was in November, his is in December. We both had our own places. So it was a lot of money that was going out. Plus, you know, his car was messed up. So like, okay. So there was times when I was frustrated because I'm still in here playing house, okay, and doing all of this stuff and, you know, nothing and not getting any, you know, still not engaging, not even getting support. You know, consistent support with doing stuff in the house. He would say like, oh, I'm paying the extra $1,700 in rent and I still got a full clothes. Like he just had this mindset that because he's paying the rent, I was supposed to do everything. So yes, I was frustrated that it didn't happen, but with everything that happened, I wanted to be clear, like that's no longer something that I wanted. I wasn't looking for, okay, I want to be engaged still. Let's go forth with it and blah, blah, blah. Like with everything that has happened, like it's always been, I had so many messages, even reaching out to him and telling him I'm done. We're like in August, we're going to tell him to leave his office and we're going our separate ways. Like me having him as a husband or that was no longer something that I was looking forward to have. Like, but yes, I was frustrated that it didn't happen. That he didn't do what he said he was going to do, but as time went and as we got worse, it's not, that's nothing that I would have even accepted at this point.
Okay. So you talked about messages going back and forth. You actually had sent him text messages specifically. You didn't want to play house, correct?
Yeah.
And if he wanted you to be selfless, then he had to take care of you, correct?
Say it again, if you want to what?
Wanted you to be selfless, then you needed to take care. He needed to take care of you, correct?
No, that doesn't even sound, I wouldn't use the word selfless. That doesn't even sound like my word. I'm not sure. Are you're not reading from a text message, are you?
Do you recall sending a text message to that effect?
No, selfless. But take care. No, I don't remember sending a message. Like, that's what I'm asking. Are you reading verbatim from a message? Like I sent screenshots because that doesn't even sound like my.
Okay, well, right.
Fuck, I'm still fucking muted. I just spilled water, you guys. Oh, fuck, I spilled it all over things. Okay. What I'm trying to say is, there's the P.O. box. I spilled water. I was muted. I'm not muted now. Let's continue. Please somebody timestamp me when she just said that she's not selfless. That's what I want. Just somebody write down the approximate time for me. Also, cheers. I love you. Let's keep going.
Right now, you're not asking me questions. Would it help to refresh your recollection if you saw a copy of text messages you had sent to him?
Yeah, it would.
Okay. If I could ask the clerk to publish Respondents Exhibit 1.
Madam Clerk, I don't know if you have that, if you, it takes some minutes to be able to sort through and find them.
I'm sorry, what was it? I'm sorry.
Exhibit 1, it's the page 1 of the document.
Oh, so the responded.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me go. Which
What's going on?
page?
We're looking at our respondent exhibit.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. And it's just Exhibit 1, page 1. All right, Ms. Rowe. Are you able to see the exhibit which is on the screen?
Yes, I'm trying to read it. Life
Yes.
happens, but if you expect peace in here, expect me to be selfish. You should take care of me so that I can be. Stop expecting me to be okay with playing house because because I'm fucking not, and you knew that. So yeah, that's okay. Now that I hear the whole thing, like now that I have the whole thing, it does make sense. So he's saying to me, wait, life, I don't know what happened, what was said before that. Life happens, shit keeps happening. But if you expect, yeah, so if you expect peace in here, so I'm frustrated. Okay. So, you know, he's not helping, he's not doing anything and stuff like that. So that's what I'm saying. You want me to be selfless. You expect me to be selfless. You should take care of me so that I can be. I'm talking about like emotionally and mentally. This is the stuff that I've always said to him. No, I'm gonna read the whole thing because there's more though. Stop expecting me to play house and be okay with playing house because I'm not. So now I'm here in the same position with the same man, feeling dumb as fuck. I let you know hold on. I let you know ahead that the shit wouldn't be pretty because I wouldn't mentally feel right being in the situation again. But you take it for granted. Now you want me to put how I'm feeling on the back burner because your car fucked up. So you had a bad month. I did too, but had you made it a priority to do right by me, you wouldn't even have been stressed. But you're so selfish and can't even see that. So what I was saying was at the fact, see, at that time, okay, I was venting to him or just, you know, complaining about the fact that I'm in here and you're still wanting me to do these things. You think that, you know, what he said to me, like, let's work on communication. So my whole thing is, what do you mean, let's work on communication? If that's the case, why did you have me in here? Why did you lie and say that you were going to do this by a certain day? Yes, like I said, before you even pulled this up, I was frustrated that, you know, he didn't do it and he didn't keep his word. But as things gotten worse, okay, like that's nothing that I'm still looking forward to. So I'm not gonna go and do all of this just because he didn't propose. And even in the message, yeah, like that's not. I even have messages with him when he was saying like, "Oh, you that mad you did it just because I didn't propose." And I'm like, "Why would I do this?" Because at the end of the day, whether you propose or not, I was still, I guess you could say, in a I guess when situation, I don't know what to call it because it was at another expense, but I was still in here only paying him $500, and then he from that 500, like he would turn around and give me money towards the rent. I mean to pay the bills that were in my name that for the household. So I still felt like okay, even though I wasn't engaged, it still was a benefit for me financially to be here. And at the time when we moved in, I still was only making $16.50. So it was still beneficial to me, you know, for I guess stability wise, you know, to be with him. So again, I'm not gonna do this just because he didn't propose. Or if that's the case, why wait now? Why wait till my birthday month when I already had plans and all this stuff going on? Why do this right now? It just doesn't make any sense.
Okay, but so what you're upset about is the frustration with how the relationship has gone, correct?
So yes, it was a frustration with how the relationship is going, how things are constantly getting worse, and you know, there's been no effort. He would say he's gonna wake up and go for walks with me in the morning. This is something that he said he was gonna do. He never did. He never made an effort. Then he would say,
Okay. Let me pause you there. So it's the way the relationship is going. It's not that he's, you know, tried to come after you or anything like that, correct?
no, that's not correct. That's the dynamic of our relationship, how we're toxic, the way it's going, how we're constantly going back and forth, bickering and fighting and being physical with each other. That's what I mean with how the relationship is going.
Okay. Has he ever just kind of out of nowhere come up and attacked you?
So he never closed fists, hit me out of nowhere, but like I shared in the message, like in that screenshot, he came out of nowhere and just grabbed me up. And as he said, I apologize for grabbing you for he did apologize for doing that. But he never just walked up to me and like hit me or anything like that. It would be if we were going back and forth, things would always get escalated and he'll always lean into my face.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that's my point. It's always when something is going on between you. He doesn't just explode and come attack you. There will be an argument and it escalates, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And you had said it earlier, I think you said it again. It's aggression between us. It's both ways, correct?
As far as what?
Aggression between you. You're aggressive to him as well.
The way I speak to him. Yes, I'm aggressive with the way I speak to him. I'm aware of that. And that's what he was texting me saying that I initiated the whole thing. When I'm frustrated, yes, I do curse at him. I talk out and say certain things. admitted to what I said. Look at this bitch I said in my face right now. But I still don't feel like that justifies him to put his hand on me. That doesn't justify that, in my opinion.
Okay. This incident, which happened way back in February, do you recall that? You testified about it?
I'm sorry?
The February incident.
Okay.
You hit him first, didn't you?
No.
You didn't hit him first.
So it wasn't a hit. It was, okay, so he leaned in my face and we were in the bed. I'm like, get out of my face. And then he hit me. That's
Okay,
what
so
it wasn't, I did touch him first, but I wasn't trying to fight him. He leaned in my face and I'm like, okay, get out of my face. That's what that was. And then when I was, most like, get out of my face and I touched him, like, get out of my face. That's when, don't touch me. That's what he did. But it wasn't a closed fist. Like I was trying to fight him. Again, I was texting him. I wasn't even trying to speak to him. Like I wanted him to see this when he woke up and know that I seen what I seen. I wasn't trying to communicate. He woke up to me texting.
okay, so in the aftermath of that, didn't you text him? Yeah, I hit you and you hit me back. Didn't you text that to him?
Yeah, so we got into it.
Okay, but
And that's when I got pushed with the stitches. I mean, that's when I got hit with when he pushed me so hard and I ended up getting the stitches. But I didn't wake him up with a punch to the face. Like I didn't wake him up like to a punch in the face, like what he said. I didn't just wake him up and hit him. So he leaned in my face and I pushed him. I pushed pushed him back a little, like pushed him back, like get out of my face. And then he hit me. That's when he hit me, like, don't hit me. And then I got out of the bed and we were going back and forth. I do know that I did hit him and then he pushed me, but I think I was hit again before that. I was hit again before I hit him and then got pushed.
okay, but you didn't tell that to the police?
No, I didn't, because I didn't want him to get arrested. Like I said, I didn't want him to get arrested. And I have the stitches and I had the medical records, but I didn't have time to do it. I didn't think that we could upload that. I could have been went and gotten. I don't know if this could be extended. I would gladly do it if we could have another day. But they closed at 5, and then I was told that I had to hurry up and get back here. And it was 20 minutes to get there, let alone. So I didn't want to risk not being able to show up. But if I can have time, I would gladly get the medical records from it, because I let my doctors know what happened. This time I did. The other times I didn't, when I got with my hand in 2019, but this time I did let my doctor know what happened.
Okay, so we have this incident in February, police are called and no one gets arrested. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And isn't that because he did not want the police to arrest you? That's what they were going to do?
No, I don't know how that could be possible, because I'm the one that called the police on him, and I don't know why they would be arresting me. I was the one that was leaking. Again, they didn't see it because I didn't show it to them. And then there was bloody tissue on my desk, on my computer desk, that he actually got rid of. But no, I didn't not get arrested because he didn't want to press charges. Like there was no bruises on him. I'm the one that had something. No one got arrested because I didn't want him to get arrested. I called the police with hopes that he would just leave for the night. And when he didn't leave, because be like, oh, this is my shit, I paid to run up in here. I ain't going nowhere, you leave. When he didn't leave, and they came, they separated us to get testimonies, and I didn't even say anything. And then that's when the other officer came back and told me that he said that I woke him up to a punch in the face. I woke him up out of his sleep with a punch in the face. That's what was said. Now, even that, like if you look at the time, like, I mean, you can't, but even if we have another extension, I can get that too, because I was literally texting him all of that. I was texting him certain things. So again, I wasn't trying to wake him up. I had screenshots that I sent to myself and all of that. And I can show the screenshots of the time and the messages and all of that. So it just wouldn't make any sense that I woke him up to a punch out of his sleep when I was in the middle of texting him.
Okay. So you didn't wake him up with a punch, but you do admit that you were the one who started it becoming physical.
Oh, yeah.
Beja Minta says, I need random, instant, and funny stress-reducing ideas. None of that healthy coping stuff, though. I'm so glad you've asked, Beja Minta. I recommend arguing with me about something that's really bothering you, just tell me to what the thing is, and I will give you a real run for your money. I can also recommend eating something quite delicious, maybe something that you know you shouldn't eat, but that tastes delicious. Also, yes, weed can help with that. If you have a dispensary located near you, go there and ask them, how can I treat myself tonight? And they will set you up. Um, I don't like to recommend alcohol, so I won't. Uh, you could go and purchase something that you really, really want and you know you want. She can't grow her own basement gardener. This is an instant. Didn't you see that? Instant. Go to a store that you've never been to and buy something that you've never bought and eat it. Listen to a funny country song by Wheeler Walker Jr. Nana wants to know if there's 2 slices of bread out there. Aye. Yes. I know where they are. Okay. Okay. Let's keep going. Are those good, Beja? Do we need more options? I'm willing to keep going, but I think that's pretty good thus far.
You hit him first, right?
Okay, I pushed him out of my way, like, but I didn't close this hit him. He was leaned into my face. We were literally in the bed next to each other, already yelling. And I was
Eating
like,
cookie
he
dough
was
while
right
on,
here.
first of all, I was going to suggest something like exercise related, but you said not healthy. Eating cookie dough while on the treadmill, yeah, baby. Listen, I sometimes when I first get exercising, the only way to get me on it is to before I had a good pen, and I've lost my pen, and I'm trying not to let it show right now, but I am flustered because I can't find it. On another, is it down there? I'm so distracted. Anyways, also, but I used to bring my volcano vaporizer down into the garage right beside my exercise bike that I had, and I would just like get really stoned while working out. And it was the only way I kept going. If I went to the gym, I'd be like, I'm going to stop now. But if I could smoke weed the entire time, I would keep way going. Anyways, okay, let's keep going on this. I think we've got some really good ideas today, and we should make a commemorative plaque about this as the day when we all learned about Christmas in July 2023 and figured out how to be a little happier. I absolutely do basement gardener if I have it. I just don't like buying it without seeing it first. And that's the Canadian legals. Anyways, let's keep going. Listen, sometimes I get inordinately upset. I'm like, oh, Nana hid the pen. Or my daughter took it, but my daughter doesn't. I mean, literally, it's usually right here. I know why it's missing. Anyways. That's exciting. I'm excited about the PO box for very many reasons. So many reasons. Okay, let's keep going. I'm gonna go do one quick once over for the pen here. Unbelievably, there are 25 minutes left in this hearing. Daylight, you're amazing.
I'm here, and then he's leaning in my face, and it was more of like, get out of my face. And then when I did that, that's when he hit me.
Yes, ma'am. And you sent him a text message saying, yeah, I hit you and you hit me back, right?
When we were fighting, yeah, we were fighting, but not at that moment. I'm not referring to that very specific moment that you're talking about. I didn't get stitches in the bed from him just hitting me right then and there. We were getting into it. So that's what I was saying. I hit you and you hit me back. And again, that's how I got the stitches. That bed, what happened in the beginning is not what led to me getting stitches or there was more to it.
Okay. And when you took out this temporary protective order, you filled out a whole petition. They had a whole bunch of questions, correct? The petition, you had to write in the basis of why you wanted this order, correct?
I don't remember. I got assistance with it.
I would like to I want to explain a little something right now. Earlier, I explained that, hold on, I gotta close. Okay. Earlier, I explained my pen's missing. Nana could have taken it. My daughter could have taken it. But I was trying to explain I've learned better than to blame others for two reasons. One, it seems like they get mad when you blame them for something that in the end they've usually never done. Like in all the times that my pen's been missing, it's been my fault 100% of the time. So my brain has finally allowed me to be like, no more. So no, I found the pen here, guys. I checked in all the standard places. I checked in the places, I mean, I had narrowed it down, right? I had narrowed it down. And in fact, I had already pulled everything off the bed almost, going, where is this fucking pen? And here, in an inside out pillowcase, somehow, is the pen. Okay? So, yet again, there's two things. If I had told Nana and confronted her and said, did you take my pen? Firstly, she would be like, you lost that? And then secondly, she didn't take it. So I go ahead and don't get flustered over lost stuff very often because it always turns up in the end. And now we have the pen. Ooh, so good. I love you all. Let's keep going. Hi, Craig. Hello, Kitten. Everybody here. I'm so thankful for you all. Jonathan, tough day at work. Please. I would not rewind if I were you. It's not been soothing. Let's just say that. It's not been a soothing version of kitchen court cases so far. But listen, my brain automatically jumps to blame and accusation, even though literally 100% of the time, my fault. Anyways, that's just a little life lesson that I've learned over time, right? Also, make sure you know what you're jumping into, water and life-wise.
From the victims advocate. So I know I was assisted, but I really don't remember the details of it. I'm sorry.
So did they ask you questions as you were
Yeah.
going through?
They did.
Okay. So did they ask you whether you believe he had a criminal record and committed crimes? Is that right?
I don't think he had a criminal record. I mean, I know he done some stuff and he did commit crimes, but I mean, but this was old. It's not related to what we had going on.
Okay. So for things related to why you would need a protective order, did you tell them about any of these prior things or why you need a protective order?
I told them about what happened. They asked me if he ever put his arms around my neck. I remember that was a question that they asked me, and I said no, but he did grab me up, and I was referencing to the incident with I think it was the second slide where he admitted to, yeah, I did. I should have never grabbed you. Like he was admitted to what he did. But they were asking me certain questions. I was letting them know the history and what happened, and that's when they, I guess, assisted and agreed, like, okay, it does make sense to do an order of protection because we do have a history of this toxicity and it's best before things continue to get worse.
Okay, so on that written petition, you're saying that when asked to describe the crimes he's done, you told them about all those things. That's what's written on your petition?
Okay, I got assistance with doing it and questions were asked over the phone. I'm not sure I'm sorry. I don't know if you want to show me something because I don't think I've written anything. Like it was done for me. I got assistance. But they did ask me questions and I did answer the question.
Oh, Grim, I just want to address something because Grim has said something really important. which is I absolutely believe that you've had bad results from weed. I don't doubt that whatsoever. I personally think that it is not for everybody, but more importantly, you need to have access to very good quality weed and a wide variety in order to test and find out what you actually need and relate to. So that process is actually really difficult if you don't have good access to good quality product that you can smell, really. You need to smell it, and your body alone will tell you. Um, Everything that you're gonna smoke, I will guarantee almost every single person here, with a very few exceptions. And if you think that you are the exception to what I'm about to say, you will have to prove it. But you are all going to be smoking hybrids. They are just a spectrum of hybrid, leaning sativa sometimes and indica others, but there are very few landrace strains, and almost nobody would actually be growing a landrace strain. Even if they call it landrace, that's probably not actually the case. Regardless, like I said, if you want to challenge me on that, let's bring the proofs. But what I mean by that is everything's on a spectrum, and so the terpenes are what change the experience for people, and your body recognizes terpenes with smell. And so what your body responds to naturally in a good way that smells, you are much more likely to be good with. So if, for example, you want to have more energy and go for a run and all that kind of stuff, then a sativa leaning hybrid might be better. But if you get anxiety and you don't like to be buzzing around all the time, you might find that the same experience that people have are very similar, and they just describe them differently. So one person might say, I'm really anxious, my heart's racing, and I'm really buzzy and jumpy. And the other person might be like, yeah, that's exactly why I take that, because it gets my heart going. It gets me motivated and moving. And really, it's how you go into the situation and set yourself up for the experience and knowing what you're about to take that will help you get really great results from that. So I believe that people have bad experiences from marijuana 1,000%. I also believe that if you were able to hang out with me and I had access to like 25 strains of weed, I could get one for almost everybody. That's my theory on it.
So I'm not really.
Okay. So if that's not mentioned on your petition, these other incidents, that's just because the people who were helping you didn't write it down, but you told them.
What's not mentioned?
That the only thing mentioned is the family violence battery from 2023, just that one incident.
Oh, no, I mentioned more. I told them what happened. I didn't know that they didn't write it all down, but I would think that that is enough, because that's what recently happened, and I had the stitches, or not even in 2023. I did it for like what happened recently. Not even, I'm sorry, not 20. I thought you were talking about the stitch here, but it was more of for what recently happened. And then I told them the history. Yeah, I did tell them the history of what was going on and whatnot. And they were asking me questions. Like I said, they asked if he ever grabbed me around my neck. And I was honest. I said he never grabbed me around my neck, but he did grab me. And then that's when I was telling them about different things that would happen.
Okay. So that whole history, you should be in there because that's what you told them, right?
Okay.
Okay. Let me ask you, you said you've had these other problems and you've always, in whatever way, they've always worked out, correct? You've always apparently gotten back together, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This time was obviously different. No one was getting back together this time, right?
Right.
Okay. You knew after he was arrested, you knew he could come back to the house, correct? Just you couldn't see him. Well, no, you just couldn't have violent contact. You knew that part, right?
I'm sorry, say it again.
You knew that after he was arrested, You just couldn't have violent contact. There was not a provision saying he couldn't come to the house.
I didn't know that because I actually called the officer back. I called the office because she had asked me what I wanted to do, if I wanted to do a no contact or if I wanted to do, I forgot what the other one was called, but I remember her saying no contact. And I was, kind of crying and stuff, and I didn't know because I was thinking about the rent and like I can't say no contact because like, okay, he still pays the rent, he lives like everything had happened. I didn't know what to do. I didn't get any consultation at the time. I wasn't sure. But then I did call the non-emergency 911 number. And I was able to get in contact with her. And then she told me that she did put it through and the judge had signed off on it for a no contact. That's what she put in, the judge had signed off on a no contact. So then
I was going to wait for her to take a breath, but I'm just going to tell you, Jonathan, no, I'm going to write it down right here. I won't forget that. Thank you. I've also written down, I'm going to create this into a video and I'm going to run a timer beside each person to see how much time they spent talking versus each other.
Found out that it wasn't a no contact, that it was just a non-violent contact. And that's when I went to get it escalated to a no contact.
Okay, so when you found out there was no violent contact, that's when you escalated it. You wanted more protection, correct?
Correct.
And you were saying you didn't think he was moving out even though he was coming back to the apartment and taking his stuff. Is that right?
I didn't think he was moving out because he just took like a handful of things. Like he had some furniture in his office. He didn't come with a truck. He literally messaged me and said he want to come and get some things.
Okay.
Some things.
Well, he couldn't take everything because your brother was there, right?
He did take some things. What do you mean because my brother was there? What do you mean? Yeah, so he did come in and take some things. I didn't want to deal with him. So I opened the door and the officer was outside. I thought like he came with I thought they were together, but they weren't because he wasn't escorted, but I thought they were together at the time. But anyway, I came in and opened the door. So my brother told me that he was here. I was upstairs in a friend's apartment. I walked all the way down here, realized I forgot my key, walked back. And then by the time I came back, I seen him coming in. And I was like, okay. But then I was like, you know what, let me just go. I didn't even look at him. I just opened the door, walked there, unlocked the door, went and got unlocked the door for my brother. And yeah, I locked the door for my brother and I told him, just let me know when he's done, just call me when he's done. And I was in the car. Now I seen him walking out with his he had like a basket with some things in it. Like with some clothes and stuff. But so he did get some things and then he came back the very next day unannounced this time and with the officer.
Okay, so
The cat came back the very next day. They thought he was a goner, but the cat came back. Every time she says the very next day, I immediately think of that.
I want to make sure I have this right. This incident is May 26th where he gets arrested, correct? Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then he comes back to get his stuff on Monday, the 29th. Does that sound right?
Yes.
And you are going up and downstairs and your brother is there, correct?
I called my brother because I didn't want to be here with him. So I called him. I told him, just let me know when he's gone.
Okay. And your brother was threatening him, wasn't he?
No, he wasn't threatening him. And that's another thing. I also sent those messages. He was sending messages to my brother saying that he allowed him to put his hand on him and all this other stuff. And I'm like, okay, with everything that's going on, why would you not call the police if my brother put his hands on you with everything that's already going on? So that was another thing that was weird. And then the officer, when he did come, I let the officer know, and I showed messages where he's telling my brother that he wants to meet him. He does want to see him on Friday. When he does come back to get some random thing that he said to him, but he didn't even come on that day. He didn't even come on that day. And then yeah, it just didn't make any sense. Like, why do you want to see my brother? If you're saying that he put hands on you and all this other stuff, and why would you want to see him? Like, what do you want to see him for? So I have those messages as well. Because my brother sent it to me, but he never responded. I was advised to tell him don't even respond to him, so that's what I did.
Okay, so your brother was there the first day and you're saying he meaning Chris didn't call the police, right?
He came alone, but the police was
Right.
literally pulled up right outside. When I was walking back, they were there, so I just assumed that. I just thought they were it was related because they were literally right outside my window.
Okay, but then the next day on the 30th, he did come back with police to help him get his things, correct?
And the next day, he came back to try to get the key, and he grabbed like a few more things.
He came back with the police, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you still didn't think that he was trying to leave?
No, because this isn't the first time like even when we lived together before, more recently, he's like, oh, I'm not leaving nowhere, you leave, because he just is his shit. Like he pays the rent and that's what he would always say. But in the past, like if we got into something before, like he spent a couple of days at his mom's house and stuff like that. So I didn't think anything of it. Like he never said that he was leaving. Like he just came and grabbed like one time he grabbed a basket and another time he came and grabbed like 2 pairs of shoes and I guess like a few more shirts. He still
Yeah.
had stuff in there.
He never said he was leaving. He wasn't saying anything to you at all, right?
We weren't communicating. He was trying to, actually, no, that's not true. At the time, we didn't speak, but he was texting me saying, oh, you can't have my key. That's mine. I pay the rent. Even with that, he was never telling me he was leaving. He was trying to get his key.
Okay.
And
so he didn't block you on
Completely inappropriately would be aiming for the voice box.
his phone?
we eventually blocked each other. We were both, yeah, he eventually blocked me.
So he blocked you, and then you kept trying to send him messages on WhatsApp, right? Because he blocked you regular text, correct?
He messaged me on WhatsApp first. I blocked him. There's messages where I'm saying, stop contacting me. You're not even supposed to be contacting me. Court is on the 21st. He's like, what are you talking about? I already went to court. What are you trying to do? I already went to court. I had to take a class and I paid $400. I was telling him, leave me alone. Don't contact me because he was trying to blame me and say everything was my fault. And the messages when I said we were going back and forth, there's a slew of them on WhatsApp, but he messaged me first. I didn't message him on WhatsApp first. I messaged him, but it wasn't first. I didn't initiate it.
Okay, but he stopped communicating with you completely, correct?
Okay, we both, yeah.
Okay. And so when you couldn't reach him like that, you took a screenshot of the WhatsApp messages you've been trying to get to him, correct? You took a screenshot and you sent it from someone else's phone so he would get it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you recall in those messages that you were sending, you are texting him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, and he's just not answering, correct?
I mean, I sent it to my friend and she sent it. Like that was her. I don't know. That wasn't even from my number. So it wasn't
never
for him to get the message.
You never texted him? I mean, sorry, you never sent him the WhatsApp messages 9 times?
Say that. I didn't say I didn't send him messages on WhatsApp. But what we both sent messages to each other. What did the message say?
So Ms. Rowe, you're gonna need to answer the question yes, no, or I don't know, and then you may explain, okay?
Okay.
So you admit you were sending him messages on WhatsApp and he wasn't responding, correct?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure because we did go back and forth via messages on WhatsApp.
Okay, so you don't know if that happened, that he stopped responding to you.
He did stop responding.
Do you see how slow she said that? I literally looked up. I was like, oh, shit. She's going slow. Like I thought I was wrong and it was, or I guess it could just hit regular speed, but I don't think so. I think you'll see the end when they pull the video and we just caught it. It was like it was given to me by the YouTube daddy gods.
but we were going through a lot of messages. We were messaging each other back and forth. I'm not even sure in what which one you're talking about. Like there's times when he messaged me and said stuff, and so I'm just not sure what you're referencing because we have a lot of messages on WhatsApp.
Okay. But after the incident on the 26th, he's trying to get his stuff out of the apartment, correct?
On the 20,
After the 26th of May.
yeah, so
After the day he was arrested, after that, he's trying to get his stuff out of the apartment, right?
on Monday the 29th, yeah.
He comes back with the police to get his stuff, correct?
Mhm.
And at that point, you've not taken out any TPO, correct?
That's not true.
So when he came back on the 30th with the officers, you had already gotten a TPO?
So they told me I had applied for it and it hadn't been approved. I got an email saying that this doesn't mean that it's approved or anything like that. It was just an application. So I showed it to the officer. And that's when she told me that it's not, well, it's still pending and you can keep his key and stuff like that because he still lives here until that's gone through. And then I was showing him the messages with my brother. And then that's when she told me that the PTO also protects your family. But at the time, I know he wasn't served because it hadn't even gone through yet at that time.
Okay. So before he even knows he needs to use an officer to take his things and leave, he's already doing that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And he's already stopped responding to you at that point, right?
No, we weren't. I don't think we were communicating at that point. At that point, I was telling him to leave me alone. Like I wasn't communicating. Yeah, I don't think we were communicating about anything.
Okay. So you don't recall texting him on June 1st? I don't know what you're doing, what you're planning to do. That's fine. I was told I cannot keep your key. You didn't send a message like that on WhatsApp?
Yeah, I did because I was told I couldn't keep the key, but hold on, let me just go to I'm sorry, to follow.
Would you like to see, help refresh your recollection to see a copy of your WhatsApp screenshot you sent?
Sure.
Okay. If I could turn to Respondents Exhibit 3.
Which one's her?
We can just zoom out a little bit. We're missing the bottom messages. Okay, so looking at Respondents Exhibit 3, do you
Oh, that's a lot of outgoing text messages towards him for this. Seriously. Melody Bird, no problem. I did have that written down here, but I will go ahead. Okay. Melody Bird is finally checked in. Okay, that's great. That's good because I don't have to. I was gonna have to do a write-off. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. Seriously, this is a lot of text coming from her. Second last thing. Yeah, Melody, you probably do have to do the dishes just because you're last in, right? Um, yeah. This has been I'm not sure that I can go ahead and go back to the beginning because or can't recommend it. I can and I can't. I mean, let's just say there's some sped up spots, and she talks fast, and this lady has talked with them virtually the whole time. So no problem. Oh, Melody, it was 105 where you are today. Oh, okay. I'm changing this. This is going to be an award that we're going to make for Melody because of how many fucks we give. No, I'm just kidding. Of course. No, seriously. I'm going to add some extra points for that. Let's finish this up. Where is it 105? Also, I'm Canadian. Is that like 40 degrees? I don't remember. Also, med check. Yes, daylight. Good idea. Med check. Charles, you're here with us. We love you. I'm working on finding some Middleton for you. I don't have any. If you've noticed, I haven't done any of his stuff. So I'm working on that for tomorrow. Daylight wants an award. Oh, you guys are going to get awards. I know that's Fahrenheit. I need to know what it is in Celsius. I'm quite. Hello, Ken. Thank you for telling me the obvious. Deep South Texas, Melody Bird. Guess what? While I'm Canadian, I believe I'm a like honorary Texan because I got married in Galveston. So I think that I went on a cruise and a bunch of people from Texas were like, "You can come to my house. I love you. You're so sweet." And I was like, "Okay, great." So I think I am.
Recognize us.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing or what you're planning to do, and that's fine. I was told I cannot keep your key from you, and that's pretty much offering it back and asking if you wanted to come back and we leave and you're not responding. So there it is. You don't have to either, but I clearly did put it out there. That's all that.
I'm sorry, 40 fucking degrees Celsius? Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm checking. I'm writing that back, Melody. We are, you're entirely excused. Melody is not doing the dishes tonight, guys. Can somebody get Melody some ice water and a fucking fan? Because it's hot.
Matters. Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, and he wasn't responding at that point at all.
No, he didn't respond then.
Okay.
So the reason why, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And so he wasn't responding, so then you used someone else's phone to send it to him, correct?
Right, because I didn't want him to say that I was trying to keep his key. I wanted to make sure he got the message. So the reason why, because I did that is
Lady, I hate to interrupt you again. Last thing, I double checked Helikitten. You did say it was 40 degrees, but first you said Fahrenheit, stating the obvious.
because he had changed his setting on WhatsApp. So when you're using WhatsApp, you can it'll just be one check if that shows that the message didn't go through. And then it's two checks if the messages go through, and then it's two blue checks if it's red. So he had changed his setting. So I couldn't see that if he was receiving it or not. So I wanted to make sure that he knew I wasn't trying to keep his key. So that's when I had someone else send it to protect myself, because so he could never say that I was trying to keep his key from him, because the officer told me when he came back on the 30th that by law, I can't keep his key. I'm gonna get myself in trouble for doing that and stuff like that. So that's why I sent the messages. Now, go ahead.
And he still never responded to you, even from someone else's phone, right? Is that correct?
Not at that time, but we were going, let me just go to WhatsApp. Not at that time, but we have a lot of messages on WhatsApp still. Let me see, just on the last response was from him. Let me see. The last response from him was when he was trying to say I won or something. I believe that was yeah, June 1st. That was June 1st or June. Yeah, it was June 1st when he was trying to say that I won.
Okay. And
No,
at that,
I'm lying. I'm sorry. It was, yeah, it was still June 1st though, but that wasn't it. So I called him later on June 1st, and he said he was on a call, and I said, okay. And I just put, I wasn't trying to talk. I was just asking if you wanted to go back to the apartment and Ava and I leave so you can pay the rent and not mess up our credit. Just trying to do what makes sense, as I'm not paying more than I normally pay, which is a 500, but it's late. I'm not trying to fight with you. I just wanted you to know, I see you're typing. So he started to type, and I said, that's why I was trying to reach out, because I was just thinking about the credit at the time. And it not being messed up because I knew I couldn't afford the entire rent.
okay. All right. But you'd agree that's the last time he said anything to you on WhatsApp or text or anything like that, correct?
That's the last time we spoke, but I had missed calls.
Okay, but they were from a blocked number, correct?
One was a block number and two was from him.
Okay. Let me back up. But so the last time he was making any effort to speak with you, any sort of back and forth, was June 1st, before he had been served, correct?
When was he served?
Well, you got the order signed on June 1st. You knew he was not served that day, correct?
I'm asking when he was served. I don't know exactly what day he was served. I'm sorry, you asked me correct. I don't know what day he was served. I put in the application
Fine,
for
you
it.
can say, I don't know. If she doesn't know, she doesn't know.
I'm sorry.
Okay, not a problem. You knew he did have to be served though, right? It wasn't like the judge signed and automatically he just knew to stay away. Someone had to tell him, right?
I told him that, and I told him that. I said, leave me alone, like stop messaging me. You're not even supposed to be messaging me. We have court on the 22nd. Let's just wait until court. And that's when he said, what are you
Where are
talking?
those texts? Where are those messages?
Hold on. 1 second. I don't have a stay away. Judge already told me my stand, so you can send it and it will be dismissed. Wait, what I said now? Oh no, so I said,
So all of this was before the TPO, right?
he's calling me a leech, leave me alone, leech. You took the ban, he's telling me he hates me, but hold on, I'm sorry, all of these things instead of answering, you pulled my. Okay, so you dropped what? Okay, so I said all these things, okay, now you claiming to try to ruin. Let me just see what day this was. Oh, this was also on June 1st. So this was June 1st when I was telling him, because he was like, oh, you dropped what? It's already done, you clown. I have to take a class tomorrow, genius. Shut the fuck up. I drop it all, dummy. I'm already, you ass. I don't even know what he meant when he said that. I don't have a stay away. Judge already have my stand, so you can send it. It will be dismissed. You were evil for real, for real. No, you're really the worst. Leave me alone. So he didn't know. I was telling him because he was still messaging me. Let me see.
Okay, but he's telling you to leave him alone, right?
He said that, but then he kept messaging me. I told him to leave me alone and stop messaging me.
But
As
we've
well.
already looked at the exhibit earlier that you kept sending him messages and he wasn't responding, right?
Have a whole slew of messages. We have a whole slew of messages. 1 second.
And all of that,
on June
and all
1st,
of that was before the TPO. All that was on or before June 1st, right?
it was on June 1st.
Okay. And once he said, leave me alone, I don't want to talk to you, he blocked you and you couldn't send him any more messages, right?
That's not true because okay. So he actually called me. Another thing, I'm looking at it. Okay, I don't know if it's too late to send it. It probably is, but I'll try anyway. And it wouldn't be PT. Okay.
Just tell us what it is.
So I'm looking on Wednesday, June 7th. Okay, so it says Monday, June 12th. I have missed voice call from him at 3:22. And then I called you back. So I tried to reach back out to him at 5:23. And then I have another missed call at 6:39. And then I put, why do you keep calling me and hanging up? Shake my head. That's what I said to him. And that was the last that we have communicated. That was the last of it, or the last message I sent to him. And I see that it did go through because it had the two blank checks. So yeah, he clearly had taken me off of block, because if he had me on block, then you told me that he said it was a butt dial. But if he had me on blocked, then he wouldn't have been able to butt dial me through WhatsApp. You can't, it is not going to allow that.
Okay. So you didn't want contact with him, but you didn't block him.
No, he wasn't communicating with me. I came back on June 12th.
That's my point. He wasn't communicating with you.
I was in Punta Cana. Prior to that, the last communication was June 1st.
Okay, so did something about Punta Cana prevent you from blocking him?
June 1st. No, nothing prevented me from blocking him. He was blocked on Facebook. I mean, not Facebook, on regular messages. But to be honest, I left it because I wanted him to admit what he did. I
Ms.
wanted him.
Brown, you need to turn on your video, please, ma'am.
Oh, it's not on?
Hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry, because I was looking at the messages. I'm sorry. Hold on.
There we go.
Yeah, I was trying to get him to admit what he did. So I didn't like just block him right away. I was trying to get him to admit, because he was saying all this other stuff, you're evil, you initiated it. But he never did say that he did anything. So I was trying to get him to, I wanted to leave that for him to admit that. But again, I was out of the country anyway. So we weren't, the last time I was surprised to see that missed call. And this was the day that I got back, that he was, all of a sudden, the day I'm coming back, that this happened.
Okay, so you weren't scared. You weren't trying to keep him away from you. You left the door open so he could come and admit what he did, right?
So him messaging me is not gonna keep me scared. I did want him away from me. That's why I kept telling him he can come, but with escort for
Okay.
for our.
But he'd already come with an escort and he never came back, right?
No, he did. Yeah, correct.
Okay. So except for this dial where you said one of them was a block call and the other was from him, correct?
2 was from him and 1 was blocked at like 2 in the morning.
Okay. So were there messages left on these calls?
No, there weren't messages, but the WhatsApp, you can't. I don't know that you could leave a message on WhatsApp message, but no, there weren't any messages.
Okay. And then you responded to him after those, correct?
Yeah, I did.
And he never said anything, correct?
No.
Okay. And it's your position, he should have had you blocked. So a butt dial wouldn't happen. Is that right?
No, you said that he blocked me, and I'm telling you that he had taken me off block. Like I was not blocked the entire time, because if he did block me, the butt dial wouldn't have happened.
Right. But you didn't block him because you were okay if he contacted you. You just wanted him to admit what he did was wrong, right?
I was trying to get him to admit what he did was wrong. I was trying to get him to admit what he did, period, not even that it was wrong. And we were going back and forth via messages. So I just and that was June 1st was the last one. We weren't communicating. It's not like he was trying to contact me. When he was trying to contact me after that, I had blocked him. I think he's still blocked right now on Messenger, if I'm not mistaken.
But that is why we're going forward with everything, not because you're frightened, not because he's tried to come after you, but because it's his lies, right? You told him that.
So what I told him is, because of the lie, I am frightened because of what he did, and I can't trust him to be around him. I can't trust that he's going to do that, because he did what he did and he lied about it. Like, it is more of for my protection and not to feel like I'm in that position again. So it's not just because he lied. The lie is also making me feel like, okay, I have no choice but to do it, because what's going to happen next? And then let's, God forbid, like say if I didn't do this and he eventually came back or whatever, and what next? Because things have continuously gotten worse. So that's why I just decided to go ahead with it, especially since he was lying about what he did.
Okay, but he wasn't trying to contact you. When you went forward with it, he'd stopped talking to you. He came to get his things with a police officer, right? That's what was happening when you took out your TPO.
That's not true. That's not true at all. I sent the messages to what was it? When I first applied, I believe I sent the messages to it was a gentleman. It was a male, and that's why I thought court was going to be so quick, because I don't even think I was on the phone with him for more than 15 minutes, if that much, because I had already sent him the messages and stuff that he had sent me. And he was saying, yeah, it's a good thing that you did that. I was able to, like, I guess when I was applying for this, yeah, I was applying for the order protection, and then I had to speak with someone via Zoom, and I sent them the information, like, proof of what was happening. But yeah, he was contacting me. We were going back and forth after he came back with the officer.
Okay, Ms. Abbasi, I think she answered that question.
Okay.
It may not be the answer you wanted or were aiming for, but she's answered it. So let's move on.
Okay. And And you admit you threw something at him, that incident, correct, on the 26th?
No,
You never threw anything at him.
no, that was talking about when I got the stitches. I was talking about February, I'm sorry, on the 26th, when he got arrested, I was not aggressive at all. I was running my mouth, I was talking, talking fast, but I did not come to him, I didn't approach him to, even when I was like this the entire time with the phone, like, look at him in my face, look at what I'm doing, look what I have to do, look at him in my face right now. I said some more things that I don't really want to say, but I was like this with my back turned, and then the phone was knocked out of my hand. Like, he hit my hand and knocked the phone. My first initial response was, so you're gonna hit me? Because that's how hard it happened. Again, it left a bruise. And when I turned around, I'm like, so you're gonna knock the phone out of my hand? And then that's when he was there with the fork. And then I'm like, oh, I wish you would, I'm not, saying stuff like that, kind of stuff. Like, yeah, I'm not, I wish you would. Like, I wish, like, showing that he was going to hit me. So.
But you withdrew completely. Is that what you're saying?
I did. Because I knew I know I can't beat him. I wasn't even trying to do that. Like, I wasn't trying to fight with him. Like, I was on the phone venting to my friend. Like, I was talking to my friend via FaceTime. Okay. And he came out because he overheard what I was saying and was saying, she's lying, and this and this. Like, he came in my face. That's why I went like this to show. He was coming to me. I was in the living room right here sitting down about to fold the clothes.
Okay. So it's your testimony that he came at you, you withdrew, tried to get away from the situation, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So isn't it true that you texted him afterwards that yes, you had thrown a picture at him, correct?
Did I text him?
Yes.
No, I didn't text him that I threw a picture at him at all. What I text him is that because he said, oh, you tried to hit me with a picture. Oh, no, you threw a picture at me. That's what he said. And I said, no, I did not. You even text my mom saying that I tried to hit you with a picture, meaning you never got hit with the picture. That's what I said to him. And I also said, I didn't hit you with the picture. I tossed the picture away from him. It was just for frustration. Again, it came from his mom. I'm not saying it was the best thing. I'm being honest about everything that happened. I wasn't happy with his mom. I wasn't happy with him. The picture was right there. I knew not to hit him and whatever. I took the picture and I tossed the picture away from him, not even close to him, because I knew if I hit him or anything, I would have gotten hit, and I wasn't trying to do that, but I was frustrated and I tossed the picture away from him, and that's what happened. And when I was turning around, because I felt like, through the picture, turned around and he grabbed me by my hair, you fucking bitch. And then I, fanned him off and I went and grabbed my phone. And I said to my, because again, he knocked it out of my hand, it was on the floor. I ran to my phone and I said to my friend, I'm going to call you back. He got me fucked up. I'm calling the police. And I called the police, and he stayed. I guess he thought like everything was gonna work out before. I'm just assuming he thought, nothing was gonna happen, like nothing happened last time. And that's another reason why I kept going with it, because I felt threatened. And I felt like, okay, I cannot not do anything about it, because things, like I've been saying, have just been getting worse between us. And I don't know what's gonna happen next.
Okay. So you don't recall sending a text message to him where you admitted, I just threw the pic in retaliation of you knocking my phone? You don't recall sending that?
Yeah, I threw it in retaliation, but not at him.
Okay.
I threw what I just admitted. That was my retaliation. Like, I was frustrated, so I threw the picture. Again, I can screenshot the message right now and upload it if you like, but no, it's gonna take me off the camera. If I have permission to do so, he messaged my mom saying that I tried to hit him with a picture. Why didn't you say I hit you with the picture? You said I tried to hit you with the picture. Did you get hit with the picture? No, you did not. I threw it because I was frustrated.
Okay, but when we said picture, I want to be clear, this is like a 5-foot like piece of wall art. This isn't like a little frame picture. This is like a big, large poster size type thing, correct?
Right, that was tossed, and it was tossed. This is it right here. It's so big, and if it was really what he's trying to make it out to be, like I did it, or like I tried to hurt him with it or something, this thing should be shattered. Hold on one second. It should be shattered. It still holds. The glass is still here. This is the only thing I tossed it. This is the only thing that chip right here is still in place. This whole big thing, if it was what he's trying to make it seem like I did with this picture, it should be broken. And it's not. Like, I literally just tossed the picture. That's why it's still standing.
Okay, but it was tossed in retaliation, right?
Yes, because he pulled
Couldn't you just have already fixed it?
me, no, he knocked the phone out of my hand. He pulled my hair after that. Like after I tossed it, that's when he pulled my hair. If I took it and threw it, that picture would have broke. It would have hit him with force or something else with force if I was trying to do that. Like, and it would have been shattered. That's not the case.
Right, because if you wanted to hit him, you wouldn't have missed, right? That's what you told him.
Right, exactly. I was just
Okay.
frustrated because I wasn't trying to hit him. That's exactly what I said. My intention was not to hit him, and I did not hit him. It was me just being frustrated for how I was being handled and treated, and I did that. But I knew not to hit him. I knew he would have hit me. He's there with his fist with a fork in his hand. A fork in his hand. He has a fist like this. Oh, I wish you, girl, I wish you would.
Okay, he didn't hit you with the fork though, did he?
Because I didn't hit him. I didn't hit him back.
Okay. So,
With the fork, did she say? A dingle hopper? Holy moly, no dingle hopper throwing. No throwing dingle hoppers. That's not what we're good. That's not what we're good? I don't know. Let's keep going. Let's keep.
we talked about he wasn't making contact with you after June 1st, except for this call that you say he was calling you on June 12th. Is that right?
Yeah, but you told me it was, I believe I spoke with you when you were trying to come to an agreement.
Right, hold on. So this has already been asked and answered, that there were 2 calls, I've heard it multiple times, from his number to hers that were not answered. She may have messaged back in between them.
And nothing since then. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. All right. So you mentioned you and I did speak previously, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And we were offering to stay away from you, correct?
A part of what you were offering.
Okay. We're offering to have no contact with you whatsoever.
I don't recall. What I recall is the same thing that you were requesting, the same thing that he had asked before you even got involved, was to pay half of the rent. And you know, he'll stay where he's at. I can stay here and he pays half the rent. And to dismiss it, to avoid excuse me. I'll give it to you when I'm done. I'm having an important thing. Okay, just take it. Just take it too. I'm sorry. You can take it to your rooms. Go ahead.
Okay, but I'm trying to just get, some yes or no questions here. The proposal was he would have no contact with you whatsoever, right?
No.
No. So that there was proposed contact.
I don't recall you saying that no contact whatsoever, because you were talking about us going half in the rent, and how would we have been able to go half on the rent if we weren't contacting each other? Like that was not, like you had asked me to come to an agreement prior to coming to avoid this, so we didn't have to be here today. And then you were saying that if I what he wanted, if we could come to an agreement of going half in the rent, and I stay here with my daughter, and to just dismiss this or avoid the hearing. And I said no, because I didn't want to go half, and I'm planning on leaving. That's when I was trying to tell you all the details of what happened, and you weren't interested in hearing it, or you just let me know what you were focused on and what you needed to hear. But I was explaining to you, like, my focus right now is to try to, I didn't think that it's fair for me to have to do that right now. I at least need, at least 2 months so I can get my money together and do what I need to do so I can go my separate way, versus, just getting put into another apartment and then eventually having an eviction because I have nothing to fall back on for food or for anything, because I am no longer qualified for food stamps or any type of assistance, because I just drastically went from 1650 to 2349 out of nowhere, and now I can't get anything. But I'm trying to use the money to pay down stuff that I can be secure to go. So that's why I was asking you for 2 months or so, and you told me that he doesn't want to do that.
Can I ask the parties, when does the lease expire?
November.
Okay.
So isn't it true you told me you would not agree to anything until he admitted what he did? Is that right?
Probably some. That's something I would say. I would say that
Okay.
because I knew I was told that I didn't have to speak to you, and I'm saying I'm not doing anything like because you wanted me to avoid this, and I'm saying I'm not gonna avoid this. I'm not gonna not come to court or to do any of this. He's gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna come to court. He's gonna admit what he did, and yeah, if you wanted me to do anything or come to some type of agreement, you're gonna admit what you did, because it's like, okay, I'm gonna sit here and say no and take this all back when you're lying about like the whole thing, and then it just doesn't make any sense. If he at least admitted what he did, then okay, we can have no contact, and he's, agreeing with me saying admitted what you did, like you're gonna, that also included agreeing to help me by continuing to do what you're doing, and with the rent.
Okay, so let's get beyond, since the parties aren't married, there's very little I can do on the rent, and I'll address that if we get to the acts of family violence.
I understand.
But I understand there were negotiations between the parties, and I'll give that whatever weight I'm allowed to.
Yes. You knew he wanted to get out of the lease, correct? He still wants to get out of the lease, correct?
We both did. We both said that he just well, I've always been the one to say I'm breaking news. I have messages where I'm constantly saying that to him. We're not gonna do this no more. He always told me he wanted to make it work. I've come to him and asked him plenty of times, are you sure this is what you want, because of the lack of effort? He would always tell me verbally he wanted to make it work and he wanted to be here, but it just never registered to me, and I was never comfortable with it because of the lack of effort or action that he would make to make things work and do better. So he never, now, of course, he wants to get out of it, but he never expressed he wants to leave. He never expressed, he would always say he wants to make it work, because I would ask him that. I constantly would act like, are you sure you want this to work? You sure you want to be together still, blah, blah, blah? Oh, I'm here, right? I'm here, right? I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't love you. I wouldn't be doing this. That's the type of stuff he would say. He never expressed that he wanted to go separate ways. That was something that I would always say.
Okay.
How he's doing that. He would say go half. That's what you proposed. You never told me you wanted to break the lease. You were asking me as well to go half.
Okay. So he never told you after the February incident, let's break this lease. He never said that?
When we were arguing, he did say that. He did say
Okay,
that.
so he did say that.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. He did say that, and I told him go ahead and break it with the $4,000. You pay for it. Pay for it. That's what I said. Pay for it.
Okay, but you don't want him to break it now, correct?
I didn't. Okay, so if he's gonna go ahead and break it, I don't have any control over that. My thing is, for me and for what I want for me and my child, I just wanted some grace to already express how many times to get my money in order so I can go and do what I need to do and not risk eviction. That's it. So of course, no, I wouldn't want it broken at this moment, but I was always talking about breaking the lease, like, but just not right at this moment.
Okay, so that's what it is you want. That's the result you want, is to be able to have some sort of assistance until you can find your own place or something like that. Is that correct?
For not even until the remaining of the lease. Just I was asking for about 2 to 3 months. Like it wasn't, I'm not saying, yeah, just come pay the rent. And I'll be grateful for some type of assistance, because again,
So I'm not going to order assistance
I understand that.
since y'all are not married. My question is, when is rent due each month?
On the 3rd.
Okay.
Okay, and the apartment complex offered to move you to another unit, correct? They know what's going on, right?
They told me that they can go ahead and do that, but I was going through the court because there was a lot of word of mouth, nothing was in writing. So to avoid the situation of where the officer told me, yes, there's no contact, and I found out that it was, just a non-violent contact, I wanted to go through this and make sure I was in the right, because I was advised, a friend of mine had advised me to get it in writing, and when I went and asked her, for something in writing. She was like, yeah, I'm just trying to I gotta get with my manager over the weekend to see how to word it. And I never got anything in writing, so I just decided to just go through with the quote just to make sure everything is being done correctly. But also, another reason I didn't jump on that is because he also did pay. He did go ahead and pay for June. And I did go ahead and send him some money as well, the difference from the bills. And again, I needed time to get my finances in order. So I didn't want them to just go run and do that. And then now I'm in there, not able to catch up on anything. That's why I didn't try to do that. And I wanted to come to court first and see. Like just go through, because I already had a court date. And again, it was I felt like I learned a lesson the first time thinking that it was supposed to be no contact and it wasn't. So I just wanted to make sure I didn't get anything in writing from her either. So I didn't really know what my rights were or anything, like, or what, it was just like, oh yeah, you could do this and I could, but there was nothing in writing. It was just, you know.
Okay. And your mother lives in Covington, correct?
Correct.
Do you have some family support in this area, right?
No,
That you don't have any family support with your mother in Covington?
no, not to live with her.
Okay. You work, correct?
I do.
Just got a raise, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you took a big vacation in June, correct?
Correct. That was planned well before this. Correct.
Okay.
It was already
And-
paid. We started paying on it in March.
Okay. And he's offered to give you some assistance with the rent, correct? Some assistance.
He offered to go half.
Okay. He's offered, and that includes he would do that and have no contact with you, right?
We didn't discuss all of that because I was saying like, no, that's not what I wanted to do. He was threatening like, oh, go half, or all your shit is out on the first and stuff like that, on the fourth, eviction on the fourth. But we weren't really, we were just going back and forth. We weren't having any type of resolution conversation. It was just bickering back and forth in circles, getting nowhere. That's really the gist of what we were doing.
Okay. Your Honor, I don't believe I have any other questions at this time.
All right, well, all right, that's fine. Do you have any witnesses or testimony, or evidence you would like to present, Ms. Sabasi?
If I could have a moment, to confer with my client, I don't think it will take very long.
Okay, and I'll just, and I'll just remind, well, I'll let y'all confer. You can tell me what you want to do. I may have a few questions for him, and then we will go from there. We'll
Absolutely.
place y'all in the breakout room for just a few minutes.
Thank you.
Okay, so we are switching. See, they just switched this kind of shit up left, right, and center. We're almost done. I forgot that we had another part left to this. So please bear with
You have heard
me.
the testimony from Ms. Rowell about a number of different things which happened. You were aware.
Oh my God. It is fast. It can only have been fast for like a minute.
Have the petition submitted at the time of this, that the only thing alleged is a family violence battery from 2023. Nothing else has been alleged. She came today.
Ms. Sabasi, I have one question about that though. On paragraph 5, it does say at other times respondent has committed other such acts, included but not limited to. Petitioner states he was abusive to her in the past.
Right, and then it says
Hold on, did she just say abusive to her cat?
Sabasi, I have one.
You have heard the testimony from Ms. Rowell about a number of different things which happened. You were aware you have the petition submitted at the time of this, that the only thing alleged is a family violence battery from 2023. Nothing else has been alleged. She came today.
Ms. Sabasi, I have one question about that though. On paragraph 5, it does say at other times respondent has committed other such acts, included but not limited to. Petitioner states he was abusive to her in the past.
Right, and then it says even number 5, yes, there's approximate dates and what happened, and there's no information about approximate dates or what happened. It just says states he was physically abusive. There's nothing about this February incident. There's nothing about her
It's not
fingers.
specified.
Correct. There's nothing specified in that portion. Obviously, there were no criminal charges from the February incident. I believe Ms. Rowe has admitted that she did make physical contact first. I believe she's been very clear. This is always when there are verbal arguments. The verbal arguments you've heard about stem from him not paying and her having wanted him to marry her and take the relationship more seriously. Obviously, that's not what happened. The courts became involved and a TPO was sought, as Your Honor heard, when my client actually finally went back to the apartment to take his things to leave. Ms. Rowe has testified she didn't know that when he came to get his things, when he came back with an officer, that he was trying to move out. I don't believe that is credible. That combined with the fact that it happened and that was before there was any sort of court order. She began texting him. He blocked her and would not answer. She sent him messages on WhatsApp. He would not answer. She then sent him messages from someone else's phone. He would not answer. To submit that she didn't know he wanted to move out or break up, I don't think that is genuine. My client has made every effort to cut off contact with this woman. We submit we are not here because Ms. Rowe is frightened or feels that an order of protection is necessary for her safety. And Your Honor, as you know, that is the standard that we are here for. A temporary order, in your longer-term order of protection, should be issued when it's needed to bring about a cessation of family violence. So Your Honor would have to find that the petitioner has shown that there's a risk of that happening in the future. From what you've heard, I think at absolute most would be that there was a phone call or 2 phone calls in July, which went unanswered. She responded, he did not answer. No other contact, no other attempts to reach her, no other way. Ms. Rowe has agreed. We have tried to reach some sort of an agreement. No one is actually fighting the desire to stay away. We are more than happy to stay away. I think the only reason we're actually here in court today is because Ms. Rowe is seeking a certain amount of money.
Well, he also didn't want it to go on the registry or admit to anything, even though he could have done a Fifth Amendment waiver. I mean, a waiver of criminal finding, right?
Correct. Right. Okay. My point is, Ms. Rowe could have had the relief she was. Were she terrified? Were she scared? Were one to feel that a family violence order or a protective order was necessary to keep him away? We agreed to all of that. We never disagreed. Perfectly happy to give it to her. The only thing, obviously, we weren't able to do was to go on the registry to pay the amounts that she wanted. Your Honor, this situation here is not the type of circumstance a family violence protection order is for. Even if every incident occurred the way that Ms. Rowe has described, which I don't believe she's credible. She insisted after he knocked her hand, she completely withdrew. She did nothing. Then she was confronted with a text message and agreed, okay, yes, I did throw a picture at him. It's a large picture. She showed it to you. She said, no, I never wanted, or he never wanted to break the lease. It was always me. She admitted, yes, okay, there was a text message when he said, yes, he wanted to break the lease. What we're here for is not because Ms. Rowe needs an order of protection because she is seeking money. That is not a relief that Your Honor can afford her. We are happy to stay away from her. We are happy to continue staying away from her, but we don't believe an order of protection is appropriate under these circumstances.
Ms. Rowe, you may give me a one paragraph summary about what the evidence showed and why you have shown that you need this order.
So she mentioned that it wasn't specified, like she said, I didn't mention anything about things being done or domestic violence or any incidents in the past, which isn't true. As I said to her before you even, thank God you said that it was there on page 5. They just didn't write the details because it was a lot of stuff. It was a random it was a phone conversation, but I didn't mention it because they didn't write the details does not mean that it didn't happen. You also mentioned that he said he was trying to move out. So if he's trying to move out, why didn't he come with a truck? He was willing to pay half the rent. You told me that he was going to give me $2,300 one time. Whatever I did with that money is up to me. So if he has that to do and he's trying to move out, why hasn't he come with a little $300 truck to get the rest of his stuff? He never told me that he was trying to move out. That's when we were going back and forth. And he said, oh, let's break the lease. That's it. He never mentioned that he was trying to move out. And I've never even seen proof that he said he wanted to move. You said break the lease, but again, he still hasn't come to get his stuff put in the storage or anything. He still has sneakers and clothes and stuff here. I never denied him to come. Yeah. And then you also mentioned that I said, you said that I didn't say that I threw the picture. I said from the very beginning, I threw the picture. What's crazy is that I'm the only one taking accountability for my actions. Apparently your client has done nothing. But I said I did throw the picture away from him. I tossed the picture, not at him. And yeah, I do need an order of protection because I don't feel safe around him. That's why I've always said you can come and get your things. I just wanted you to have an escort. I've messaged him that too. I wanted you to have a police escort because I cannot trust you. I cannot trust that you're gonna come here and maybe I get soft enough. I'm not gonna lie and say I don't love the man. Am I still in love? No, but I didn't want it to be, where you eventually come back, he has his space. This has happened before. He's had space at his mom's house for a while when we lived together before. Him taking a few shirts and boxers and whatever and a few shoes and whatnot does not tell me that he wants to move. And again, he's done this before and let stuff die down and just come back and that be that. That's not saying that he wanted to move. I don't even, I've never stopped him from moving. I've never stopped him from getting his stuff. So I don't know. The reason I feel like I do need an order of protection because it's his words against mine. He's way stronger than me. I want to feel protected. I don't want to be in the situation where something is happening. Like right now, something has happened and it's my word against his. I don't have the money for a lawyer. He does. And I just want to avoid it and protect myself and have my peace of mind and mental peace, mental and emotionally, where I can just do what I need to do for me, myself and my daughter, and move on with my life. I'm glad that he's saying he agreed to no contact and all this other stuff. That's great. I do too. I just want to move on, and that's why I want the order of protection to ensure that. Because you said that he hasn't contacted me. He's contacted me after that.
So I'll tell you, I've heard enough. Based on the argument that there's been no contact since he's been arrested and had an ex parte in place weighs so much. But I just have to find that there's been an active family violence. If I were to take everything that's been testified to as true, then the petitioner would have been injured 3 times in the history of the relationship, at least, by him being a predominant aggressor. That's what would happen if I took everything as true. I am trying to weigh the evidence as best I can, but based on the evidence that's been submitted, I do find that there have been acts of family violence committed. There is a reason for the parties to have contact, whether it be because of police going forward or because of the criminal case. And I do have some concerns about some of the alleged nasty messages that were sent to the petitioner after he was released from jail that could arguably be construed as harassing, threatening, or intimidating in violation of a no violent contact bond condition. So, I understand there may have been some instigation by parties here. It's extremely, obviously, a very volatile relationship. But instigation does not on its own justify physical violence. And it's not a legal defense. So I do find there have been acts of family violence committed by the respondent towards the petitioner. She has said multiple times that he could come get his key because she was told she had to give him back his key. And so whatever the reaching out to him was, she is not the one who is under a bond order or protection, but she also says that she wanted him to do it with an escort or via her brother because she was in fear for her safety. So at this point, I'm going to issue the order. It will be in effect from today. It will expire naturally on June 21st of 2024. The petitioner will be awarded the exclusive possession of the residence. The respondent is ordered to not go to that residence location, petitioner's workplace or school, and any future residence, workplace, or school, and not come within 100 yards of the petitioner and her minor children. The respondent does not have any contact with her whatsoever, except as otherwise specified in this order. The respondent, when accompanied by local law enforcement, shall be able to remove his remaining personal belongings. And the phone number is 404-298-8300. That will be on the order to remove them one time only, and that needs to be arranged on or before July 21st of 2023 through the Sheriff's Department at that phone number. I will add both respondent and petitioner are ordered not to sell, trade, damage, or otherwise dispose of any property or pets. I don't know that I heard that there were any of the petitioner or joint property of the parties. And not interfere with any of the parties' mail. Okay, I would assume that Mr. Miras sounds like he may have already moved. I can't honestly tell from what I've heard. And so a change of address will need to be made, if not. Also, the Family Violence Intervention Program is ordered. The first virtual compliance day will be July 14th at 2023 at 9 a.m. It will be virtual. We'll place you in a room just a moment with a compliance officer to get started on that. And
Your Honor, if I may, and he can correct me, I believe that is already on his bond order.
so that's different. That's a
Okay,
1-hour
okay.
course, is my understanding, for bond. This is a mandated under the law for the family violence protection orders, the more involved Family Violence Intervention Program.
Thank
But
you,
he
Your Honor.
can let the officer know, he can let the compliance officer know what classes he's taken, and they can discuss that. But he'll get
Okay.
information on how to get started on those courses. Also, while this order is in effect, the respondent's not allowed to possess a firearm under federal law. And finally, my only question is whether and how to address any of this lease issue. And if I should at all. I know both parties are concerned with credit and eviction. I am open to suggestions given the finding I made. Normally, Ms. Rowe, what we would do is say, you know, you shall take over any lease payments starting next month. But I understand that could affect your credit, and it could also affect Mr. Mears' credit if you can't make it. So, Ms. Abbasi, I'm open to a recommendation. I could also just put on there, both parties are free to break the apartment lease and take over other residences.
Your Honor, I don't know what recommendation I could make. That's been the only sticking point on all of this. We have agreed from the start to stay away. We have offered to give her half of the rent. That's not acceptable. I've got nothing I can suggest that would satisfy Ms. Rowe.
You might have a hungry cat.
Yes, he's very irritated. I've been in court and not paying attention.
I understand. So,
and to Your Honor's point, no, I don't believe under the statute you can order him to pay for rent or anything else.
it's somewhat of a joint debt, but you're both named, so it would be independently or jointly, right? Are you both free to break the lease on your own? Ms. Rowe, you just need to unmute.
So no, it's $4,000 to break the lease. So I have applied for assistance. And they said about 5 days. I wanted to ask them to, you know, I don't know if it may be too late, but I wanted to ask for them to check the status of something that I had applied for. And I just got something else, another resource.
So here's what I'm gonna do. So let me ask this though. How do you pay the rent, Ms. Rowe?
So I would normally just give it to him. Because in order for me to be able to log in, like I would normally just like Apple Pay him the money. And then he would turn around and Apple pay me back whatever I said the bills were.
So
But
Ms. Mears are all utilities in Mr. Mears's name?
no, they're in my name. That's why he would like just cash at me back.
Okay,
to-
do you make the payments on all the utilities?
Yes.
Okay. So Ms. Abasi, could I request that can you log in, Ms. Rowe, and make your own account to pay rent? Or does he have to provide that to you?
I would just need the password. That's all it is. I just need the email and the password. It's been changed. We had to change it for something and I just never got it because he always took care of it. So I just.
Okay. So Ms. Abasi, is that something that we can take care of? I can have him provide to you through Ms. Rowe. I don't know what kind of email and password it is, but if there is a way to say that he will sign over or give the rental payment login information to her so that she may pay rent if she wishes.
I guess our request would be to do that via the lease office. I'm happy to write a letter saying they would both like to have access and the ability to make payments, but not that she take over his information. I'm happy to do that.
No, I had it. It's nothing more than just an email and a password to it. So all I would need is just the email and the password. I had it at one point.
I think she doesn't want to necessarily, in case that's an email and password to other things that he owns, doesn't necessarily want to give you that information. If there's a way for that to be done.
Is what I'm saying. I had it before. I just didn't remember it. And it had to be changed because of something that was done with the leasing office and their portal. So they had to you can ask him if it's okay to give it to me or whatever. He could just give it to me. It's just something I never got back from him, but it was never an issue for me to have it.
Okay, so I'll just put respondent through his attorney shall inform the leasing office that they should, is it an account? Open an account for Ms. Rowe to be able to pay rent?
I don't know. I would imagine it's kind of the same as like an authorized user on a credit card. I don't see why someone else couldn't come and make money, or pay money to that. So I would ask she be kind of granted access to make rent payments.
Okay.
It's a portal. It's just one username, is one email and sign in. So we don't have two separate ones. So,
if they write back to me and say it can only be one email, I will create a Gmail email address, which is sharedrent@gmail.com, and you all can both have the passwords and deal with it there.
okay.
All right. So I will say should authorize Ms. Rowe to have access to the rental payment portal, online portal. All right. And then that will be it. I'm not going to further address rent. If either party wants to break it, that is their prerogative and not a violation of this order. If either party wants to, if you want to take the apartment complex up on their offer to take a new apartment, you are free to do that as well. But I'm not going to address it beyond this. Okay. If there's any future need for modification of any kind, either party is welcome to come back before the court and seek that. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I do appreciate all of your time here. I know these are very difficult situations, and I know it's been a very long day for all of you. So at this point, Ms. Rowe, you should get a copy of the order emailed to you. Ms. Abasi, you may need to contact the clerk's office in a day or two to get a copy of the order. They may not automatically email it to you like everything else is via e-file. So just please keep that in mind. And I can place you in the breakout room with the compliance officer with your client if you wish, or if you don't need to be there, he can just go in there himself.
I'll join him in there momentarily. I just would let Ms. Rowe know I would be including this court's order when I send it over to the apartment complex. So if I have to wait till next week to get it, I can't make that motion to the apartment complex without it.
That is fine.
She has my email if she wants to send it to me as well.
And that makes sense. So
if I want to, I'm sorry, what am I supposed to be doing?
So she when she sends the letter to the rental company, the leasing company management to ask them to authorize you to make rental payments, she is going to need a copy of the order. And so she may not get that for a day or so. So it probably won't be able to be addressed until next week.
That's fine, right? Isn't the last day is due is not until the 3rd anyway.
Okay. All right. So thank you for bringing that to our attention, Ms. Bassi. And all right, we will place y'all, once y'all have met with Mr. Ellis in the breakout room, you are free to leave after that. And Ms. Rowe, you are free to log off as well. Okay.
I'm sorry. I just wanted, like, is there anything, it's just been a lot of information. Is there anything that I need to be doing right now?
You will get a copy of the order emailed to you.
Okay, that's okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
Do you see that happening?
You have
Listen, guys, here we go. So that was crazy. I very much appreciate you being here. I hope you've noticed that in the chat, I am going to go and absolutely shamelessly go over to People in Court's channel and try and get myself over 2K subs, okay? That's the truth of the matter. I'm very close now. There are a very few spaces left in the 2K club. Plus, People in Court has awesome channel and I want to go over there and raid her live. So the link is up at the top. We're going to be on in just a couple minutes. I got to turn this live off, get over there. She has something in store for me. I'm excited about it. It's court. I know you guys will like it. So head over to the link. Over to People in Court's channel. I will be there shortly reacting to court from my kitchen. Not that fucking lady, thank God. I don't know if she won. She might have won technically, but I don't think she won what she wanted to win. If we got what we got. If you got what I'm saying, you know? Okay, guys. Let's get that going. I love you all very much. If you don't have the time to come over and hang out with us there, then that's fine. But I'd appreciate you dropping by because it's fun. And I convinced her to go live because, you know, that's the way it be. Okay. Anyways, I love y'all. I will talk to you later and see you soon. I love you. I'm proud of you. Bye. Wait, I think I went. Oh no, I didn't. We used Larry Beaver. Woo! Larry Beaver says,